We're about to find out as the sides, led out by Lake, take their place 5 metres inside the touchline over on that far side. Ahead of the anthems here on BBC Radio Wales, we've got Ian Goff and James Hook with us today, two former Wales internationals who've had wonderful moments against Australia themselves as players down the years. How they would love to see Wales break this long, painful, excruciating losing run as our match summarisers here today. While the lights are about to stop flashing, it will all go quiet and we will all once again get to our feet to sing the two national anthems, starting with the visitors on tour. It's Australia. Well, they'll always sing it with pride, but they want to get pride back into their rugby team. The roof is closed and the stage is set. Can Wales avoid making an unwanted piece of history? 11 test defeats in a row. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? It's never been done before. It's never happened in 143 years of Welsh rugby internationals. Huge pressure on them, huge pressure on Warren Gatland. You are with BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. It's Wales versus Australia, game number 2 in the autumn series. And James Hook and Ian Goff, the former Wales internationals, and Gareth Rhys-Owen, your commentary team.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Principality Stadium. It does not matter how often you come to this grand theatre, you cannot fail to be inspired by Hen Lad Van Hadau and the sight of the Wales captain, Dewi Lake, eyes closed, belting out the anthem, full of passion, full of emotion, tells you there's still heart left in this game in Wales. The question is, though, when will this win come? Wales have made 4 changes to the team that lost to Fiji. 2 forwards in the backs, Tom Rogers in for Mason Grady, and At half-back, Ellis Bevan for Thomas Williams. 2 changes in the back row. Jack Morgan and James Botham in for Reffell and Plumtree. 6 changes in total for the Wallabies. The headline, and they've dropped their one-cap star centre, Sualihi, to the replacement bench. Kerevi in to win his 50th cap in the backs for the Wallabies. We will go through the teams in their entirety during this game. A warm welcome, BBC Sounds, BBC Radio Wales and 5 Sports Extra. You will hear this time and time again, but Wales have never lost 11 successive games. They're now on 10, and the Wallabies have just defeated England. We're about ready to count this clock down. Australia in the traditional green and gold, going from left to right. Wales in red, white shorts and white trim at the top of red socks. And the Australian fly half, Noah Lolesio, gets us underway with a high hanging start. And it's straight back into the hand of the green and gold. Good afternoon, James Hook.
Afternoon, Gab. Afternoon. That's a great kick-off from Australia. Right down the middle, got possession straight back.
And then alongside James Hook is Ian Goff.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, it was a good kick-off. They split the kick-off, so they were isolated the middle. They got the hand to it, and it's front foot ball for Australia straight off the kick-off.
Ball in the centre of the field, 30 metres or 35 metres from the Wales try line. Australia possession. They've gone through 5 or 6 phases. Aaron Wainwright was just encroaching there. 6 phases played now. Tom Wright first receiver, Angus Bell in midfield, Kerevi, numbers out wide, Jorgensen off his wing, dummy, and he's just dragged down by Llewellyn, but he's up to the 22. Big Will Skelton with a carry. Jack Morgan bumped off but then comes back and hangs on to his ankles. Australia peppering the Wales 22. Lolesio goes himself, tackled by Adam Beard. Good start, slick start by the Wallabies. Started where they left off in Twickenham. Angus Bell with the carry. Skelton, who's a big giant of a man. Once again, Jack Morgan waiting for him, but he can only soak up the tackle, and the ball was just nudged forward. And after 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds of continuous Wallaby possession, Wales finally get a scrum, a defensive one, on their own 22.
Yeah, it was front foot ball by Australia. They were getting over that gain line. A little bit surprised. I thought Wales would be really coming off that line, double tackling and really sort of showing that edge in that first couple of minutes. But Australia allowed, they won the kick-off, had retained the possession around about just over the halfway line, and they managed to get themselves go through multi-phases to the Welsh 22. So Wales really need to add that little bit of extra steel in their front foot defence and stop Australia from getting over that gain line.
Wales have won 29% of the games against the Wallabies historically. This is the 49th match between the two sides.
We might need to close the gap up a little bit, okay? I do need a gap, but maybe it's too big.
It's interesting there, the last passage of play. The best ball carriers, or the big ball carriers, Will Skelton, Angus Bell, 2 big carries each in that passage of play. As you say, Goff, Wales managed to contain them just outside the 22, right in the centre of the field. So split 3-3, the Welsh backs. They got an option here, Blair Murray. The one bonus of having him in the team, he's a left-footed kicking option. Anscombe on the right.
BBC Radio Wales, scrums, 5 Sports Extra. Defensive scrum for Wales, just sinks to the ground.
There'll be a decision from the referee this next scrum. If this goes down, he'll go one way or the other, but these early scrums are huge. I remember John Humphreys, when he was at the Ospreys with us, it was his mindset that you've got to show the referee who's the dominant scrum to start with, because if it's 50-50 he'll go, or if someone just got that little edge he'll go them, even if it's a real close decision. So getting that mindset in the ref's head, what scrum is on that front foot, who's the powerful unit.
It's interesting looking at Australia, how defensively they've lined up. They just got 3 in the front line, and they've dropped 3 backs. There's loads of room for Wales to run.
Yeah, almost like a cricket outfield, the Australians. And Wales sensed that and attacked through Ben Thomas out of his own 22. Tackled by Nick White, big shoulder into him. White gingerly gets up on his feet. Wales possession in their own half. Adam Beard with a carry, 15 metres in from the near touchline. Wales from right to left. Gareth Thomas charges in midfield, slightly isolated, but possession is back to Bevan. Max Llewellyn, back door, lovely pass from Anscombe to Ben Thomas. Nice smooth play to Tom Rogers, who's over the 10-yard line, but he's held up. He's desperately trying to get to the floor, but his knee can't get down. He does eventually, but it's held up, and a promising attack by Wales comes to an end with a turnover and a scrum to the Wallabies. 0-0, 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's good recognition by Wales. As we said, we saw the space, as did the Welsh players. They played to it. Tom Rogers down the edge, nice little step, but I think it was Will Skelton that got in and just held him up. Such a big man, Will Skelton, against Tom Rogers. There's only one winner there. The referee called them all. That's a turnover, Australia scrum.
And that's with an issue with being a little bit lightweight in the 3/4 here, James. If someone gets under you, if you can't fight to get to that floor, then you get a turnover that. But very good play by Wales. They really they went left and right. They sort of found the gap, and the enterprise is just getting to the floor and getting that support in quickly to keep that continuity.
Solid Australian scrum, comes under a bit of pressure eventually. Kerevi, first receiver. Anscombe just about hangs on to him. Lolesio, crossfield kick. Taken by Blair Murray, who did very well there. He was under pressure by Kellaway, and he received man and ball on the halfway line, 2 metres from the near touchline. Adam Beard, first receiver again. He's in to Uru, the blindside flanker for Australia. Dewi Lake with a carry. At least 65,000 here in the Principality Stadium. They begin to raise their voice. No score, 5 minutes played. Critical game for Wales and Warren Gatland. Bevan clears it. Tom Wright with time. He's done this before against Wales. He's counter-attacking. Ball in one hand, up to halfway. He really is a smooth runner. Valentini takes it quickly. Lolesio in midfield. Kerevi, good hands by them. Right out to the far side, and Australia are pressurising, and it's Ikitau who's hanging out on the right wing. Nick Frost with some good handling in midfield. Drop though. Turnover. James Botham gets possession, and Botham still crawling his way up to the halfway. Wales should attack here. They do decide to attack. Beard in midfield. Winnett up to the 10-yard line. Dewi Lake all across field at the minute. So Ellis Bevan pushes it through with his foot. Ball bounces 4 times into the hand of Tom Wright, who clears it back towards Winnett. Meter in from his near touchline, indicates to Tom Rogers he's putting it up high into the air, which he does. It's coming down on the 10-yard line. Rogers competes with Nick White. White gets it. Wales looking short defensively. Angus Bell, another carry by the loose head prop. What a dynamic present he is. Beat 9 defenders against England. For a loose head prop, the most defenders a prop has beaten since records begun, and he's already started with a bang. James Hook shaking his head, does not approve of breaking props. Anyway, little nudge through by White. Winnett scrambles back, and he's hunted down by Lolesio. Wales have possession. BBC Radio Wales, we've played 7 minutes. We're yet to see a point here. Gareth Thomas slightly less dynamic than Bell with his carry, but he wasn't intending to break the gain line. He was just set up possession for an up and under from Gareth Anscombe. Tom Rogers competes, stretches out, tip of his fingers, touches the ball, but he couldn't hold on to it, and then he goes out on the full, and it's a scrum on line up for Australia.
That was a good compete on that right edge, because the line coming up, the chasing sort of defensive line was so scattered that if Australia had, they had numbers all around that ball, so if they'd have taken that cleanly, the counter-attack was up against a scattered line. That is exactly what Australia wants. So they've got to be a little bit careful. Ellis Bevan put a pretty good box kick up down this left-hand side, the start of the period of Wales play, and the chase just wasn't good enough on it. And if you give these guys any space at all, you give them gaps and sort of areas to run at and angle in on, then it's going to be a long afternoon. You've got to chase every box kick that's got to be chased, and you either compete in the air or hit man and ball as his toes are touching the floor. So you've got to get a tiny bit more edge in that area, and don't give Australia any outs, any gaps to sort of to break away from.
Yeah. Beard is off, injured, fell awkwardly on top of Aaron Wainwright. and Chris Chunza's on the field, and it was Beard trying to cope with Angus Bell, who's now pouring water onto his face, and Beard
there was no foul play,
strains in pain, shakes his head and leaves the field.
He started the game very brightly, Adam Beard. He put 2 big carries in successive phases, and he does have his critics, Adam Beard, about his carrying and different things, but he really punched onto the ball, and it's a shame to see him go off so early.
Who'll become the line-out caller here now, Goffey? Because Adam Beard's the line-out caller there, isn't he?
Chris Chunza's on for him. We'll come back to that in a second. Australia possession in their own half. Little pop pass by Bell to McWright. Again, loose set prop involved in everything. Now Lesio through the back door, floated out, loose pass by him to Kellaway, who stretched, couldn't catch him, went out liner to Wales.
Yeah, Australia haven't come out with that edge either, Hookie. They're making mistakes, they're trying things, but it just seems a little bit more disjointed than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was a really poor pass, and Kellaway had no chance of that, did he? He's a big, tall boy, Kellaway, and he jumped as high as he could, couldn't stop that going into touch. Opportunity for Wales, 45 metres out.
Well, this is interesting. Garth Anscombe receiving treatment, the referee wants them to play on, but Wales haven't got a 10. Wow, okay.
You can't play with 2 medics on the field, I guess 3 medics on the field.
Yeah. There's 3 medics on the field.
It's quite a dangerous decision, actually, by the referee. I think there's got to be a bit of common sense involved with it.
I think Garth Anscombe may well have had the old dislocation of the finger, possibly. Anyway, Chris Chunza is on. Who's calling the line-up, we said, Ian?
Yeah, well, if you go through different scenarios in the training week, and I can imagine the likes of an Aaron Wainwright towards the back of the line-out, you can see the line a lot better, harder to call the line-outs, sort of see where the space is when you're sort of near that front end. It'll be interesting. You'll see it visually probably as they go along, but someone Aaron Wainwright sort of position, Will Rowlands will be in the perfect position.
No score here. 8.5 minutes. 5 Sports Extra, BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds. Wales against Australia. Adam Beard already off, ball held up from that driving maul. Scrum Australia.
And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, Goffey, but that is obviously something Australia would have worked on all week. Wales' main strength last week and out in Australia in the summer test was their driving maul, so no doubt they've been working on that maul defence, and there's the first opportunity there they've snuffed out.
Exactly that. I think we won 18 lineouts last week. It's been a strong point. We've highlighted it as a strong point for us, so that's exactly what the team are going to work on. And Australia really got in amongst us, and they didn't allow us to set up a solid platform. They sort of scattered us, if you want, and made a melee of it. So we need plan Bs as well. We can't just rely on one thing, but even though it is our strength.
No score here. Remarkably, for 2 sides on opposite end of the globe from each other, Australia and Wales have played each other every year for 20 years, except for COVID. This will be their 3rd meeting. Penalty advantage to Australia, who are looking smooth and slick. Wales are stretched here. Karevi over the halfway line to Tom Wright. Wright as though Jorgensen outside him. Right back into Jorgensen. Lovely pass by him. Back to Karevi. Karevi a metre short, stretches over the line. Held up. That's a remarkable tackle by Blair Murray and Tom Rogers, because that would have been a scintillating Australian try, and somehow Tom Rogers and Blair Murray between them have saved the day.
That's a great try-saving tackle. Australia shortened Wales up. Will Rowlands just slipped in the defensive line, which opened up the space for Tom Wright. Lovely ball back inside to Jorgensen. Slipped the ball to Karevi, and for all money you expect him to go over and score. But Tom Rogers, fair play to him.
That's superb defence. There was great slick handling. I think it was Chris Chunza that got caught quite narrow, and they exploited him on the outside, but fantastic defence.
Valentini on the charge, straight into both of them. Crushing contact, both of them stays on the ball. Couldn't roll away. I wonder if he's taking a bump, because that was a big collision. Australia have possession. They have an advantage here.
Now stop.
Both of them is really slow getting back up. What's the referee saying?
Because he is clearly knocked out, so it's a scrum, your ball. Yeah,
that's...
Time's off. We need to check.
Wait a sec. Let's have a look at James Bolton here.
No, it was advantage. I'm not doing that. He's clearly knocked out. Unplayable, gold ball. Yes, but he's knocked out, so I'm going to go back. Unplayable.
He's got to go off then, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has to go off for HIA. There's no way he should stay on.
Because he's been hit in the head.
Yeah, that's very, that's a very common sense approach by the referee there. He made the decision. He didn't move, did he? Hit the deck. He didn't move away at all. He couldn't. And that's very commonsensical.
So anyway, let's stop for a sec. Listen to the referee. James Bolton took a tackle. and just sort of laid on the ball. He falls back. Oh yeah, there's a whiplash as he hits the floor. The referee's made a good call in just bringing both of them off. Both of them refusing to go off the field.
It's not his call. It's not Botham's call. He's going to want to stay on the field. He's disorientated. He's just taken a huge blow to the head. He needs to be off. The medics need to be taking him off straight away. The referee has signalled it. There's nothing more clear than the referee saying that he's concussed.
All right. Okay. Then let's go. Come back.
Well. I mean, if
There should be a penalty then.
Guys, he's clearly stunned.
It should be a penalty. Actually, reverses the decision and said he's not going to give a penalty because he was knocked out. No, he's just given a scrum.
That's why he can't
I think that's a very poor
the
medical decision there. The referee has highlighted it. It's obvious he's hit his head on the back as he's hit the deck. You know, for the sake of a 10-minute check, why would you not take the boy off?
Why not just take it off?
It's his health.
Well. We'll be keeping an eye on James Botham, and we hope that we're not proven right. We hope that he is fine. That's the ultimate. There's no gotcha here. Hopefully James Botham is fine. Anyway, Australian scrum. 11 minutes, 0-0. Kellaway with a carry into Gareth Anscombe. They're clearly targeting the 10 here. On the corner comes Uru. Blindside flanker. Australia getting over the gain line. McWright. Laulesio. Kellaway again. Tackled by Tom Rogers. Good stop by him. Nick Frost with a carry. He's isolated. Will Rowlands wants a turnover. Doesn't get a turnover. Laulesio to Angus Bell. Australia have lost maybe 10 metres, but they still have possession. Uru can play lock or flanker. He's wearing 6 today. Wales only have 3 defenders on the short side. Looking to exploit it as Australia again. And now they've held up the tackler. And it should be Wales' possession. Here, no, the ball gets the deck. We hope that James Botham is okay. Bell with a carry. They use him so frequently, and he smashes Griffin on the way. Gets up to the 22. What a player Angus Bell is. Ikitau back into Fessler, the hooker. They were lining him up. Wainwright with a tackle. Wales defence coping this time. Llewellyn flies up. Australia going nowhere fast. Karevi with a little step. Spots a weak shoulder up to the 22, 10 metres from the far touchline. 60,000+ here, the Principality. Silenced by Australia, who are just keeping possession. Tom Wright, Uru. Neither side stressed here, you'd say. Ikitau, Laulesio, well carved to Tom Wright. Dummies, breaks through the tackle, beats Blair Murray. And just like he did back at home in Australia, Tom Wright scores against Wales. They were patient. And the Wallabies are rewarded. Tom Wright and Australia, 13 minutes played, 5-0 to the Wallabies.
Yeah, and Tom Wright, the danger man again. In the opening 13 minutes, he's been involved in 3 really good pieces of Australian attack. 1 kick, too long from Ellis Bevan. Then when Karevi was held up, and there for the try.
Their tries.
They're finding lots of space on the edge, Australia, aren't they? Tom Wright just straightens up, sells a dummy to Blair Murray, and just shows his pace and strength to get in at the corner.
Yeah, and it looked like they were going nowhere early in those phases. They started making gain line. All of a sudden, Wales put a few good hits in. They stayed very patient. They just kept the ball. There wasn't any panic. There wasn't any sort of speculative kicks going out there. They just thought, we're going to keep the ball, we're just going to, we lose a couple of yards on this phase, we'll gain it on the next, and then they sort of, not mismatches in the end, but they sort of worked something one-on-one at the end. A dummy was sold and off they went through. That was pretty easily done, finished in the end.
Alessio, the conversion, 13 minutes, does not strike it well at all, so it's 5-0 to Australia. Warren Gatland seen in the box, both hands stretched to the air, and then they rest on his head, and Gatland looks down towards the floor. And sadly, from his perspective, you get a feeling that the TV director will return there time and time again during this game.
Yeah, he was saying in commentary there, God, didn't look to be a lot on, but Tom Wright did really well, working from the blind side to the open side, just creating that extra number, which stressed the Welsh defence.
Just took my headphones off to get an impression of the noise and sound here in the Principality Stadium. And it's quiet. Winnett with a carry, rolls out of one tackle. And Winnett, I think, handed off Will Skelton there. Don't think Will Skelton will be particularly happy. Jack Morgan with the carry. Half breaks a McRae tackle. Wales in possession. Max Llewellyn crashes into Karevi onto the 10-yard line. Dewi Lake carries, accelerated to 3 Australian defenders, and then a body falls onto the wreck and slows possession down. Anscombe to Aaron Wainwright.
No, don't
Wales
milk it.
possession.
The ball's clearly available.
5-0 down. Quarter an hour played. Little carry, little pop pass by Ben Thomas to Archie Griffin. Chunza first receiver. Loose pass by him to Anscombe. Anscombe to Winnett. Winnett to Jack Morgan, wide channel. 50 metres in from the near touchline. 40 metres from the Australian try line. BBC Radio Wales 5 Sports Extra sounds. Wales leading 5-0. Will Rowlands breaks a tackle. Anscombe. Wainwright with a carry. It's pretty one-dimensional from Wales at this point of time. Tom Rogers on the far touchline. Half breaks a tackle. Ball spills, turned over. Jorgensen gets it. Jorgensen to Wright. Wright to Nick Frost. And the galloping lock will go 60 metres. Turnover ball. The most deadly of possession. 2 passes to Nick Frost. And nobody was stopping the giant lock. And now Wales have conceded 2 tries in 16 minutes. And if morale was low, it may well be even lower now. Wales 0, Australia 10. Easy conversion to come.
Yep, on me.
Yeah, it's just against the run of play. As Tom Rogers looked to do really well initially, get through contact, but through the offload, it's gone to ground. And Australia had it in on it like a shot. 2 offloads, and Nick Frost, like you say, has gone 60 metres untouched.
Yeah, it's both of them that dropped the ball on that offload. Again, we don't have to highlight that he's had that big bang. Seemed to have that big bang on the head earlier on, but it just sort of slipped out of his hands on that offload. Wales seemed to be doing well. They seemed to be quite lateral to start with, James. They were going left to right without actually making too much gain line, but they were keeping the ball right up until then, and then all of a sudden it just shows how potent it is when the second row, the number 4 second row, sprints in 50 metres off one loose drop.
Did he miss the conversion?
No, he didn't miss it, he nearly did.
Oh, he's right in front. I thought for a second he missed it.
He's not striking the ball well at the tee, Lolliasio. It's interesting as well, boys. Ben Thomas taking the restarts. Obviously Gareth Anscombe is playing 10. Ben Thomas, he's not striking the restarts particularly well. It's the same last week. Not sure what the reason is behind that.
Nick Frost, 6'9", athletic lock, 23rd test. Australian born and bred, though went to the Crusaders Academy in New Zealand when his father was a Australian Rugby Union retention officer, which was quite ironic. Australia looked to counter-attack, stressed the Welsh defence, and then they clear, and Winnett is in his own 22. His team down by 12.
Inside.
He clears it to Tom Wright. Funny how quickly swagger comes back to a team, isn't it, gents? And Tom Wright's got all of it in the minute. And he's bumped Jack Morgan out of the way. Will Skelton with a carry on halfway. 3 men attempt to bring him down. They do slowly. Laulesio, Bell, Karevi. BBC Radio Wales. Laulesio with an up and under. And Winnett takes it. Winnett graggled by Jorgensen. Penalty to Australia.
Yeah, he's gone against Ben Thomas. He's just falling down on the ball. I'd like to have another look at that actually. But Winnett was under no pressure, really. A simple take for him. Another unforced penalty, Goffey given away.
Yeah, I think it was just a technical error there. Instead of keeping his feet, I think he just tried to seal him off straight away. You do get a lot of pressure on that sort of when the opposition are coming up, they will sort of counter ruck you on there, and he's just gone off his feet a bit too low to sort of take that out. It's just keeping your feet and keeping in that good strong position, and he's given that penalty away again. The game's turned for Australia a bit now. Say that swagger's come in. They're 12-0 up. You would be kicking for goal normally, but now that even this early in the game, less than 20 minutes gone, they're going straight for the corner and they're running the ball out of their own 22. They certainly are showing a lot of confidence at this minute.
Australia made 423 metres in 90 minutes.
Over the 15.
Valentini takes to the back. Australia turn down 3 easy points and go to a driving maul, which is sacked by Wales legally. Karevi with a carry, targeting Anscombe again. Now they come back to the forwards. Angus Bell over the gain line. Ellis Bevan was offside. Laulesio, change of direction. Kellaway right, backdoor to Ikitau. Ikitau is about 3 metres out on the far touchline, and Wales get their hands on the ball, but they were penalised. Ellis Bevan offside, and these are worrying times if you're a Wales supporter in the stadium right now. And the silence that echoes around this grand old theatre tells you everything about the state of the game right now and the state of the Welsh team out in the field, because they're under enormous pressure. After a quarter of the game, they're down by 12 points to 0 to the Wallabies.
Yeah, the penalties are mounting. Australia going for the corner again. The big ball carriers again into the game. They get an easy offloads away. So putting Wales under so much pressure. It's a big moment for Wales. Concede here. 19 points down in the first 20 minutes. Doesn't look good, does it?
Just got to stop their gain line. You know, they're getting over that gain line. You know, whether it's half a metre, 3-4 metres. You know, huge gain line success from Australia so far.
Driving maul for Australia. They've already scored 2 tries. 20 minutes on the clock. One-way traffic so far. Fessler sits at the back. Driving maul is rolling towards the try line. Wainwright tries his best to stop it, but Fessler's there. Australia are there. It's already getting ugly at the Principality Stadium, and we've only played 21 minutes. Now you earn your keep, Warren Gatland, because Wales are in dire straits in the Principality Stadium. They've conceded 3 in 22 minutes. Wales 0, Australia 17.
And the ironic part about that is Australia go, and they did it the last line out, kick for the corner, go for the driving line out. You know, Wales have, you know, they put it out there, they put in the pressure. That's their strength. That's where they did well against Australia out in the summer tour. That's where, you know, last week their line out was very good. So Australia have gone, right, okay, we're kicking to the corner, we're going to drive against you, and they've got the change at the second chance. So worrying times for this Welsh team, and this is how they show their mettle. This is how they show what resolve they've got, what they've got in that tank, and not what it means to them, because it means the world to them, but how they respond to this.
Now Lesio's found his kicking boots as well. That conversion is clipped over with supreme confidence, and Wales are down by 19 points to 0.
Just need to get the hands on the ball now, Wales, and go through some phases. Everything's been down the Welsh half of the pitch. They can't seem to keep hold of the ball. They're not stressing the Australian defence at all. Mainly because Australia have had the ball for the majority of the opening 22 minutes.
Yeah, the penetration of the Australian team has been far better than the Welsh team so far. That's something that needs to change.
Excess! Good.
Wright drops the kick off. We're going forward. It should be a penalty to Wales for accidental offside, but Wales get turnover ball. Anscombe in 2 minds. Didn't know what to do, so he held on to it, went backwards. Knock on there. One thing I would say is, unlike other teams in other sports, I don't have any recollection of Welsh rugby supporters turning on their players. There's never been any booing. I don't even remember fans walking out the stadium. So I'm just curious, if this continues for the next 60, how will the Welsh public react in the stadium?
I don't think, you know, they're gonna boo the players. You know, I think the public understand this is a young group of players. I think it's probably maybe more annoyed with the coaching staff and what's been going on in Welsh rugby over the last couple of years, rather than the players on the pitch.
19-0.
Yeah, the players are just in a situation they're in. You know, they're doing their level best. They're not. You can't. They're just at the part of the learning curve. It's just at that lower end of that learning curve. They will be, you know, fantastic players. So you can't heap blame on them. The supporters should be, you know, show a lot of empathy here for the players. But you're right. It will probably rise upwards.
Scrum advantage to Wales. They might as well play it now. But Wainwright's holding on to it. And I don't know what he's doing now, because now it's scrappy ball. Bevan, Anscombe floats it out to Blair Murray. Murray tackled by Tom Wright. 6 metres out. Wainwright on the carry. There's a second advantage coming to Wales. Closest they've come. They're 5 metres out. Good carry, Archie Griffin. Over the gain line, the Australians stop him. Now they come round the corner. Huge tackle on Gareth Thomas, who looked like he was going to crash over. Bevan's got Wainwright there, rolls out of a tackle, over the try line. Ball was fumbling out of his hands, but I think he's got it down. And there's a sense of relief in the Principality Stadium, because Wales have a first try, thanks to Aaron Wainwright. Wales 5, Australia 19, 25 on the clock.
Yeah, that's exactly what Wales needed. We said after the last Australian try, they needed to keep the ball, get some possession in the Australian 22. That's the first time in this game they have been in the Australian 22. Blair Murray out on the left wing, making a little dent, and it's all about patience. Aaron Wainwright, good carry, spun his way out to the tackle, scored just pretty much under the post, just left of the post. 19-7.
19-7 with a conversion, James Hook. Anscombe with the extras, 25 played, 19-7.
It was the urgency that they attacked those phases with. They didn't give Australia a time to recoup. It was, they punched onto the ball, as soon as they had that gain line. That's something they've lacked so far in this game. All of a sudden when they had it, they looked great. They were hitting sort of hard lines right on that gain line, where Australia were trying to get some sort of structure and couldn't get in place. That's what we want to see, more of that. That's good play by Wales.
We're looking for some shoots of optimism. Will Skelton, to me, already looks like he's puffing. A very lethargic return to the field of play to the giant lock wearing 5. Wales possession just outside their own 22, right in the centre of the field. BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds, 5 Sports Extra. Wales 7, Australia 19. Dewi Lake with a carry.
Use it! 2!
Ellis Bevan, clearing kick. Good kick, but Alessio catches it.
No,
Tom Roger decides not to challenge in the air. Alan Alatoa with a carry. Good tackle by Wales. Good defending by Wales. Australian possession on their own 10-yard line. They're going nowhere this time. Anscombe win it back, so it's a short kick. And just knocked on. Ball pings around the floor, and it was just nudged forwards by Ikitau. And there'll be a Wales scrum 20 metres from the far touchline. They're from right to left, just on Wales' 10-yard line. They trail by 12 and 27 play.
Yeah, it's better play from Wales, particularly defensively. Both of them and Dewi Lake, I think it was, who knocked Australia back, slowed their ball down. Loliasio, the Australian 10, had no other option to kick. Saw a little bit of space behind, but well covered by Wales.
You see how the game is different when you stop a team getting over the gain line. How much easier it is to defend. And it's not easy to defend it because you've got 20-odd stone guys, powerful guys run at you, but all of a sudden it's an easy game. When you're getting over the gain line, when you're stopping the opposition getting into a structure, then all of a sudden then you're managing to find spaces and get that go forward. It's how the game can turn, but the key to unlocking that is a bit more complex.
Should give you the teams, really, shouldn't I? Wales have Cameron at full-back, Tom Rogers and Blair Murray on the wing, Max Llewellyn, Ben Thomas in midfield, Gareth Anscombe and Ellis Bevan half-backs, Gareth Thomas, Dewi Lake, Archie Griffin front row, Will Rowlands, Adam Beard locks, James Bolton, Jack Morgan, Aaron Wainwright 8. Australia, Angus Bell, Matt Fessler and Alan Alatoa front row, Frost and Skelton, locks, Uru, McWright and Valentini back row, White and Alessio and the half-backs. Penalty to Wales at scrum time. Jorgensen and Kellaway on the wings, Kerevi, Ikitau in midfield, and Tom Wright, try scorer Tom Wright at full-back. Angus Bell, the aforementioned Lucid, penalised for the nuts and bolts, and Wales have an opportunity to escape their own half with Gareth Anscombe, who goes to touch, torpedoes it up, and he lands it about 3 metres outside Australia's 22.
We talk about little battles, little successes. It's all been green and gold up until the last 5 minutes, but there's little battles being won by Wales now. Can they continue it?
Down by 12. They go to Chins on the front. Max Llewellyn, first up carry. just about beats the first defender, Jorgensen. He's over the 22. Anscombe with possession. Dewi Lake charging in midfield into backs. Big clearance from Gareth Thomas there. They play on. Winnett with a carry 3 metres from near touchline over the 22. Will Rowlands, his first receiver. Will still have possession. Juggled by Anscombe, but just holds on to him, gives it Archie Griffin.
No one's tackle, James.
No one tackle. Penalty to Wales. And the TMO's interference. Yeah, back we come. Our TMO is Marinus van der Westhuizen, the South African. And the tackle is by Angus Bell.
Hands are down, number 1.
He made no attempt to tackle, almost as if he was at the starting blocks of a sprint race. Hands to the ground, and that's dangerous, and a clear penalty.
Yeah, Wales going for goal here, but Australia, having gone 19 points to nil up, just seemed to have switched off the last 5 minutes. Tom Wright dropping a simple kick-off, which allowed Wales to score their try. A couple of penalties just allowed Wales back into this game, and so far Wales are capitalising on that. Relatively simple kick for Anscombe should bring the score back to 19 points to 10.
Yeah, when you're a team on low confidence, you've got to grab confidence from wherever you can. And that last 5 minutes, after being under the cosh for the first 20 odd minutes, that was a very positive 5 minutes from Wales. How they attacked, how they defended. It was a difference from that first 20 odd minutes. Now hopefully they can pull from that and go to the next level.
Ian Goff, James Hook, BBC Radio Wales. Gareth Anscombe. Simple penalty for a right footer. Just on the 22, 15 metres out from the near touch line. Between the posts, it's Wales 10, Australia 19. 30 minutes played of this one.
As you said, Goffey, it's all they can do, isn't it? Try and just grind their way back into the game. As you said, the last 5 minutes, Wales have certainly done that.
High-hanging restart by Laulesio. I think it might have been knocked on off green and gold hand. It's ended up in the hands of Anscombe.
Great hands, Ellis Bevan then off the floor.
Anscombe only finds Laulesio. Up and under by him. Winnett is back, beats Laulesio. Good footwork by him. Over his own 10-yard line, 50 metres from far touch line. Jack Morgan, first receiver. Haven't seen much of the open side so far in this game. Ellis Bevan shapes the kick here. He's on his own 10-yard line. Under pressure by Nick Frost, who scored a 60-metre galloping try for the Wallabies. Good chase, good take for Tom Rogers. Wales coming alive in the Principality. Anscombe in midfield is Wainwright, using his footwork to beat Frost. Another advantage to Wales. They found a bit of confidence here. Max Llewellyn, 5 metres from the near touchline. Wales approaching the 22. Principality Stadium starting to find its voice. Wales a little bit staccato in midfield, so Chinza looks to straighten up. Should still be an advantage being played. Anscombe takes it to the line. Ben Thomas, Blair Murray, ball hits the ground and he picks it up, but back we come to the penalty. Is there a case to be made here, Ian, to go to the sticks?
Yeah, I think so. Keep that scoreboard ticking away. You've got to keep grabbing the positives. Keep grabbing it. Australia have been up to our driving lineup so far in the first couple, so keep the scoreboard, get closer to them, and then think about the next 5 minutes or the next 2 minutes, because they certainly have changed the sort of stem, the flow of this game in this last period.
Yeah, I think Tom Rogers has gone well, hasn't he? I know he made the error for the Frost try, but he's chased kicks really well, bringing plenty of energy.
Yeah, Cam Winnett also, he's been a threat. As soon as he caught the ball, he's beat players, he's got over that gain line, he's looked elusive. So there are sparks starting to appear. It's just that team belief and team unity to carry that on and keep the errors to the minimum.
Gareth Anscombe, 38 metres. This one, dead centre. Shouldn't be an issue, James.
Find out, Nogger.
Hardest kicks in front of the post.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to give it some, which he does. Strikes it well. Between the posts. Wales 13, Australia 9. 33 play.
The interesting stat just popped up on the screen. Wales in the last 10 minutes, 79% of the possession. Tells you everything. As I mentioned just now, they've capitalised on it, got themselves back in this game.
Another short restart. Cam Winnett lifted into the air by James Botham, and he was up for an absolute age. I often think why they don't lift the smaller, lighter players, get big men to, like, I know James Botham's not particularly big, but the ease at which Botham lifted Winnett there. And this Bevan clears. Tom Rogers gives chase. Laulesio, good angle from Kellaway, but there's a good tackle on him. Now Australia won possession through White. Laulesio, Kerevi juggles, catches it, and receives a tackle from Llewellyn same time. Angus Bell into James Botham. Botham holds him up.
Yeah, there the ball is available. Well done.
Laulesio. Ikitau. Laulesio back in the pocket, quarterback style. Pumps it high. Winnett gives chase. Nick Frost was waiting for his feet to touch the ground, and then he smashes him, which is completely illegal. I see it. Wales, more possession from them in their own half. This time Anscombe to Will Rowlands. 6-point game now. Ben Thomas, James Botham, over halfway. Botham, red skull cap. Not the tallest, but athletic. The ball squirts out at ruck time, but it didn't go out. Dewi Lake fires into contact. Anscombe sits back. He goes for a crossfield up and under. Tom Rogers gives chase. He's been good in the air. He's good again in the air. Takes it, and he's up to the 22. Hello. Principality Stadium has awoken, and referee calls a penalty. What's he going to say here?
He's looking at something.
What's he seen here?
I just want to check a potential dangerous clean out by number 1 red on the gold player there.
Well, I saw
okay, we're going to line those angles up for you, James.
This is Gareth Thomas. He flew into the ruck about 5 minutes ago, and referee's called him out. Oh. No, there's nothing in it.
No, penalty only.
No, it's not even a penalty. It's not a penalty for it.
Just, I'm with you on that one, James. Let's just give us time to get back on the back onto you.
So Gareth Thomas clears out.
There's head contact, but it's low danger.
There's no head contact.
Yeah, just.
I mean, there's a tip of a finger that catches Kerevi on the lips, is there?
The slow-mo being,
so then we restart.
being inside. You slow-mo anything down, it's going to look brutal, but.
Back on me, please, boys.
Yeah, James, you're back on screen.
Okay, I'll explain. The initial read was that there was head-on-head contact there, okay? However, on review, it is clearly no foul play, okay? It is going to be a strong to lead.
It's the first time I've seen a ref change his decision.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's fine. And it's been a crowd pleaser too.
Yeah, okay? So.
Being transmitted over the mics. Exactly his call. He has made some commonsensical decisions so far, like with the Botham incident there, how he saw it, he changed his mind, said no, now I believe he took a bang to the head, he couldn't roll. That's he's talking well to the players.
That's right.
Referees are human, and you can see why he thought that was a dangerous tackle, but a dangerous clear up, but we've gone back. And the referee falls on his sword.
Huge scrum for Wales here. They can't undo this. They need to get this ball cleared, not let Aussie have a dip at them.
6-point game. Wales were down by 19. Scrum going forward. Surely a penalty coming to the Welsh, but the referee says play on. Ben Thomas, little nudge through. Winnett gives chase. Jorgensen comes across. Counter-attack would be on here. Tom Wright belts it up the field. And it's up to the 22, and Tom Rogers is back. 3.5 minutes left. Rogers shapes the kick. Didn't look that comfortable, but it's a decent kick. And it'll be an Australian line out in their own half.
That's more than a decent kick. Right from the middle of the field. Found good distance.
Yeah, that's good. I thought he was going to run it out. He had a big chase to get back, turned inside. He didn't have any pressure on him, but he looked up and pumped it into the Australian half. That gives his forwards a bit of a break.
Tom Wright looks a decent player, doesn't he?
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, Guy, in the summer, that match-winning try against Wales. Just looks a threat every time he's on the ball.
Ballatini, 50 caps for him today. Played 48 the last 50. That's a big clearance by Will Skelton. I'd like to see that one again on Dewi Lake. Skelton flew into the ruck there. Loose from the Aussies though. They're playing with fire in their own half, and Nick White is under a bit of pressure here. He's got no fly half either, so he just looks for Uru, the blind side.
Okay, advantage.
Penalty coming to Australia. No need to give that penalty if you're a Welsh player, because Australia were going absolutely nowhere.
This defensive effort is so much better by Wales. Okay, they've just crept there and given the penalty, but they're meeting Australia, their side of the gain line. They're not allowing Australia to gain that yard, 2 yards, metres. They're chopping them down, they're getting them down, they're sort of measuring them up. That's what we were missing in the first 20 odd minutes. That's what made the game so much easier for Australia.
Thank you. Okay, let's go.
They've just got to keep their balance. They've just got to make sure they keep legal, because they're actually defending superbly well. Just stay on side, give it their extra foot, and get off that liner and chop them down. There's a few Australian players, the likes of Skelton, seem to have run out a little bit of puff at this last sort of 10 minutes. They're not quite running as explosively as they were in the earlier part of the game, but Wales should start grabbing some belief every sort of set that they're completing like this.
90 seconds left of this first half. Intriguing first half. Australia raced into a lead. They were 19-0 up, now it's 19-13. The Wallabies are looked to close on a high. We're approaching the final minute of the first half. 6 points in it. Nick White. He's got Karevi lurking, and he hears first receiver. He's not passing, and he runs into two defenders. White goes against the grain and dummies himself. Gets over the 22. 15 metres from the far touchline. Wales have not been defending for a while. Ballatini gets it away to Tom Wright. There's no pressure on Wales here, so Karevi just straightens up and sacks a couple of defenders in. White sniping on the fringes, he's going nowhere. No reason to panic here if you're Wales, because Australia do not have good shape in attack at the minute, and Wales have coped very effectively defensively. They're all in one big bunch, aren't they, Ian? The Wallabies.
Yeah, I think you've just got Kellaway just hanging right across the touchline. He's the only player within 30 metres of the nearest Australian player.
Nick Frost, pick and go by him. Good from Wales. Yeah. Very good defensively. And Wainwright's on the ball. Ball's held up. No, still Australian ball. This will be the final action of the first half. So Wales will not want to give away a penalty. They don't need to give away a penalty, because Australia are not breaking down the door as things stand. 6 point in it. Final play of the first half.
And that's what Australia are looking for, Gareth. The penalty. They're really tight in attack. Now they're emptying out towards the left-hand side.
It's been quiet here in the Principality. And now, a bit of noise. Kellaway off his line. Ball's out the back of the rack. Pick and go from Karevi. Hands at the bottom of the rack. And James Botham involved takes the congratulations of his teammate, and Wales will be able to clear and get in at half-time. Down by 6, considering where they were after 20. That's not a bad result. Indeed, they do just that. So 3 early tries for the Aussies. Wright, Frost and Pressler. Alan Wainwright getting one back for Wales. 2 Anscombe penalties. Half-time, 13-19.
Well, it's certainly been light and shade for Wales, hasn't it? It certainly looked dark when the men in green and gold went 19-0 in front after, 21 minutes. But a stirring response from Wales, which puts them back within a converted try of leading in the game. What a position we're in at half-time, and it was flat, wasn't it, for so long inside the stadium. James and Ian, I did the same thing as Gareth at one point. Just took the headphones off to listen to the crowd just naturally, and there was just no noise, James. It was really, I mean, they were stunned by the first 20 minutes, and you might have feared the worst, but Wales are back in it.
Yeah, just so flat in the opening 20 minutes. Australia had all the possession, and then Tom Wright scored the first try after about 12-13 minutes, and Wales were on the back foot for the whole of that first 20 minutes, and then they were 19 points down, and then I think it was Tom Wright that dropped a simple restart, just allowed Wales back into the game. Wainwright scored a try, then Australia conceded a couple of penalties, making uncharacteristic errors, and that allowed Wales back into the game. And I tell you what, after the first 20 minutes, Wales will certainly take 19 points to 13 at half-time.
Some worried looks on faces in the coaching box again, weren't there, Goffey? We saw them, but they'll be happier at the moment in the dressing room. I wonder what Gatland will have to say. I mean, I remember what Richie Rees said last week with us. He said, look, right, they've just got to go for it, Wales. They've just got to attack Australia. Did it take them a little bit too long to actually start to do that?
Yeah, well, they were on the back foot. They weren't defending brilliantly well. They were allowing Australia to get on that gain line, to get over the gain line and just attack them. And they were struggling in attack. We were just going left to right. We weren't quite getting any penetration there. And then it just switched. It was brilliant. It looked like the writing's on the wall. And Gareth actually said a fan's going to start doubting and thinking about leave the stadium. And as those words come out of his mouth, Wales turned the screw. You say there's a drop ball off from the restart. Aaron Wainwright scored a good try after pressure. And Wales have looked like a different team. It looks like someone has just lit the confidence underneath them, and all of a sudden they're attacking better. Their defence has come on no end. They've upped their defence by a huge amount. They're not allowing Australia over that gain line, and it's an easier game to play once you contain the team better, and they're not getting behind you. The offloads have stopped, or the offloads that Australia are doing are behind their own gain line with Wales on the front foot. Different place to be to defend. So more of the same. They've taken their points this week. When the points were on offer, they tried a couple of driving line-outs. They didn't work. Australia scored a driving line out, so all of a sudden they've gone for the post and they've kept the scoreboard ticking, and their confidence seems to be ebbing up. The half-time team talk will be a lot better, and it'll be more of the same, and the technical bits that go with that to keep it.
Well, Australia dominated possession in that first half, 59% to Wales's 41, but there are only 6 points between the two sides on the scoreboard. I guess in answer to James's question, if you're paying £100 for a ticket, you're not going to walk out, are you? Certainly not at this stage. But there we go. We'll talk more shortly. We'll round up all the rest of the day's sports news as well. And just reflect on the football from last night a little bit more, and look ahead to Iceland for Wales's footballers on Tuesday night. But it is just gone 5 o'clock. You're with BBC Radio Wales and BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra as well. On Radio Wales, let's get the latest news, travel and weather for Wales.
This is Radio Wales on BBC Sounds or on your smart speaker. Play BBC Radio Wales.
BBC News for Wales, this is Dan Moffat. Good evening. The head of the Lib Dems in Wales, Jane Dodds, has refused to quit despite pressure from the party's leader at Westminster, Sir Ed Davey. She was criticised in 2021 for making a grave error while handling sexual abuse claims in a previous job at the Church of England. Asked if she should resign, Sir Ed called on Miss Dodds to reflect very carefully, but Miss Dodds said she had the confidence of the Welsh Board and would continue fighting for the people of Wales as leader. Ukraine says that one of Russia's largest missile and drone attacks in months has brought severe disruption to power supplies. 10 people have been killed and there was damage across the country, from Lviv in the west to Zaporizhia in the southeast. The defence editor at The Economist, Shashank Joshi, says Russia may be trying to condemn Ukraine to another freezing dark winter.
They haven't got an unlimited stock of these missiles. They still have to husband their resources. They have to ration their projectiles. But if they save up, if they go a few weeks without firing these in large salvos, then they will absolutely be able to destroy Ukraine's energy grid again in a few weeks' time.
2 men have been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving after a 3-car crash near Welshpool. One person died at the scene on the A483 near Bellan at around 6 o'clock yesterday evening. A child who was a passenger in the same car was airlifted to hospital with serious injuries. Hamas officials in Gaza say multiple Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 46 people and wounded dozens more. Israel says it's trying to prevent Hamas fighters from regrouping. And Glastonbury fans have given mixed reviews for the new ticketing system trialled by the festival's organisers. Places for the event in June sold out in under 40 minutes. For the first time, fans were randomly assigned a place in the queue. They had to be online before the start of the sale. Izzy Hart from Cardiff failed to get tickets and said she was sceptical of the new method.
I don't know if the queuing system feels as equal because it puts you in a place and there's no chance of moving where you've got to. Whereas before, if you were clever with refreshing and you kept on it and you kept trying, you could get through.
And that is the BBC News for Wales at 5 minutes past 5.
BBC Radio Wales Travel.
I'm Samantha Dean. In Abergavenny, Frogmore Street, the one-way remains closed due to an unsafe building from Baker Street to the A40 at Park Road. The Heads of the Valleys Road in Cefn-Coed at Merthyr Tydfil remain closed for weekend roadworks. That's from the Cefn-Coed roundabout to the High Street, the Dole-Ice Top roundabout. At Pentraguinny Road, southbound in Swansea's queuing. That's at the A483 East Bank Way at the Ship traffic lights. And buses replace trains on Transport for Wales between Llanwrtyd and Llandrindod. That's due to an obstruction on the line. That's the latest from BBC Radio Wales Travel.
BBC Radio Wales weather.
The forecast for this evening then, the skies remaining cloudy with some spells of rain overnight, lows of 4 degrees inland, a touch warmer along the coast. And then tomorrow a mix of cloud and showers in the south and west, becoming heavier across the country tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow night a yellow warning for snow and ice is in place for northern parts of the country. That's in force between 7 o'clock tomorrow night and 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning. And that's the forecast.
Scrum 5 Live on BBC Radio Wales.
Yes, welcome back to Scrum 5 on Radio Wales and Sounds. It is half-time in the second autumn rugby test in Cardiff. The Principality Stadium stunned again to start with, but Wales are on the road back and only 6 points behind Australia at the break.
Laulesio, well carved to Tom Wright. Dummies, breaks through the tackle, beats Blair Murray. And just like he did back at home in Australia, Tom Wright scores against Wales. Right to Nick Frost, and the galloping lock will go 60 metres. Turnover ball, 2 passes to Nick Frost. Driving maul is rolling towards the try line. Wainwright tries his best to stop it. Professor's there. Australia are there. It's already getting ugly at the Principality Stadium. Bevan's got Wainwright there, rolls out of a tackle over the try line, and there's a sense of relief in the Principality Stadium.
Scrum 5 Live with Ian Hunt.
Yeah, relief is the word. It was so flat here inside the opening 20 minutes. I think some fans ready to walk out on it. It was that bad. 3 tries for Australia inside the opening 20 as the Wallabies raced into a 19-0 lead. But then a Wales fight back. An Aaron Wainwright try and a flurry of Wales penalties to spare them from a hammering. It is Wales 13, Australia 19. Which way is it going to go? Find out with us shortly here on BBC Radio Wales and 5 Sports Extra. Well, elsewhere today in rugby, Italy surviving a scare at home to Georgia earlier on. They fought back from 16-7 down to win 2017. Yesterday, the England head coach Steve Borthwick saying that these are painful days after his side were beaten 29-20 at home to the world champion South Africa. England have now lost 5 matches in a row. South Africa coming to Cardiff next Saturday to face Wales. France fighting back to beat New Zealand 30-29 and inflict their first defeat of the Autumn Nations Series campaign. And Scotland scoring 9 tries as they beat Portugal. And just lost my script for a second there. It's just gone. Let me just find it. Yes, they beat Portugal yesterday, didn't they? And what we're going to do now is actually reflect on the football, because it is a busy period of international sport on Radio Wales. We're in the middle of 2 Wales football matches. They've got Iceland at home in the Nations League on Tuesday. That is after Craig Bellamy's men battled to a goalless draw in Turkey last night.
It was a difficult game, really good opposition. Can we improve on the ball? Can our angles, our timing be right? That's what we need to improve on. And that's what really I come away from today at this present moment. Of course, I'll look back at the game now later, but some really good bits and some big improvements to be made. My mentality is to win. Would have liked to control the game a lot better. In transition, as soon as we won the ball, we thought we could score. Sometimes maybe the best decision would have been to keep the ball a lot longer, be able to gain a rest, have a foothold of the game, a bit more tempo.
Well, Wales still in with a slim chance of winning their group and automatic promotion to League A. It's more likely, though, that they are going to finish second to earn a promotion playoff, but an Iceland win would mean a relegation playoff for Wales. Elsewhere in the Nations League, England have just kicked off at Wembley against the Republic of Ireland. A win would earn them promotion to the top tier. And yesterday afternoon, a reminder of what happened in the EFL games that we brought you on Radio Wales Sport. The Wrexham side losing 1-0 at Stockport, missing the chance to climb back into the top two, and Newport County failing to score at home for the third league game in a row. 44 years since that last happened. They missed a penalty in a goalless draw with Grimsby. We'll have commentary of their matches in League One and League Two next weekend. In the Women's Super League, Wales internationals Lily Woodham and Josie Green started for Crystal Palace in their 3-2 defeat at Aston Villa. Hannah Kane started for Leicester in their 2-0 loss at home to Manchester United, and Kerry Holland was a starter for Liverpool in their 1-0 defeat to Merseyside rivals Everton. Cricket this evening, the men's international T20 series between West Indies and England concludes. It is the 5th T20 tonight, England having already sealed a series win by winning the first 3 matches. In the snooker, Mark Williams is 5-4 up against Zhao Guodong in the final of the Champions event in Bolton. Play resumes at 7 o'clock. Cardiff Devils were beaten 6-3 by Kazakh side Kokshetay in the Continental Cup. And in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Welsh welterweight Oban Elliott knocked out American Basil Havez in the third round. It's his third win since making his UFC debut last year. So they've started to dip the lights already, I think, again, which means the second half of the rugby is not too far away. Wales 13, Australia 19 in Game 2 of the Autumn Series for Warren Gatland's side. So, James Hook and Ian Goff, your thoughts on what Wales need to do now to turn this around? I mean, to come back from 19-0 down to win it would be some statement by Wales, wouldn't it? And give them so much confidence going into what is obviously going to be such a tough game against South Africa next Saturday, live on Radio Wales and BBC Sounds. What is the approach, Ian, need to be from Wales? They just have to go right at them, don't they?
Yeah, Joe, I just think more of the same. I'm sure inside that changing room now they'll be saying, you're getting on the front foot in defence, you're stopping them getting over that gain line, you're slowing their ball down, you're not giving them the opportunity to offload behind us. In attack as well, we're punching past them, we're getting gain lines, we're hitting angles. Players like Wainwright's playing well, Dewi Lake's carrying on the ball, Cam Winnett's looking dangerous when he's getting the ball in open field as well. Tom Rogers been very, very good today, and Blair Murray's solid as well. Just keep going, more of the same. They turned the game round after the first 20 odd minutes. They were completely out of the game. All of a sudden they've given themselves a foothold. When you get a chance to put points on the board, get the points on the board, and then reset for the next few minutes. It's been good. They just need to carry that on.
They've got to deny them that ball in hand time, James, haven't they? We saw how dangerous Australia looked as they come back out for the second half with those piercing runs through the Welsh defence and that 60-yard run from Nick Frost. Can't have anything like that again.
No, they can't. And now from a turnover, but as you say, Ian, Australia are definitely going to have their moments in the second half. And as Goffey said, it's about Wales continuing the way they have been the last 20 minutes of that first half. And like I say, containing the threats of Australia, which will undoubtedly come in the second half. For the second half, we got in store.
Well, Australia are out. They're all ready. They're 15. Strolling towards us, and Wales yet to return for the second half, but you do get the sense, don't you guys, that this is such a crucial 40 minutes, not just for Wales and Warren Gatland, for the whole state of Welsh rugby at the moment. What happens in the next 40 minutes? Because you don't see them beating South Africa, do you, next weekend?
Yeah, you can just see on the screen there, Gatland getting his players in the change room in the huddle. You couldn't hear what they were saying, but you could almost feel the passion and how important this half of rugby is for the coaches, for the players, for the whole of the nation. If they can get a result, just release that pressure valve a little bit.
And it's there's little mistakes, you know. The first try was caused, I think Anscombe went for a bit of an intercept, and then a dummy was sold. The second one was a drop by both of them there, and he went 50 metres, and then there was a driving line-out try. You know, these things, we cut that out of the game. We've got ourselves back in the game, and we've just got to keep punching on, phase by phase. You know, keep regrouping. But it's certainly a different Welsh team that last 20 minutes than we saw that opened the game up.
Giving the fans here inside this packed stadium a reason to get excited and to raise the roof. The synergy between the team and the fans needs to be right. Here we go then, second half. Ian Gough, James Hook and Gareth Rhys-Owen.
Welcome back. Restarts for Ben Thomas, chased by Tom Rogers, who knocks it on. He'd won the competition in the air there. Very impressive first half by Tom Rogers, back in the international fold. We keep repeating that stat, 10 defeats. 10 successive defeats for Wales. There are 4 players starting today who have never won a game wearing international colours. When you think about Adam Beard, who left after 7 minutes due to an injury. Adam Beard went 13 matches having not lost a game in red. The tide has turned. 2019, number 1 in the world, Grand Slam champions. 2021, Six Nations champions. 2024, 10 successive defeats. Karevi has just shoulder barged Jack Morgan. Seemed to have no attempt of a wrap. Wales keep possession, kick it away. Nick White continues and bangs it over to Blair Murray.
You think they'll have a look at that?
Surely the referee has to look at that.
Yeah, it's head on head.
We should check that. Came over the mic there as well, and it looked horrendous from this angle. It might not be, but it didn't look very good from here.
Just listen to the reaction of the crowd now when they see this on the big screen.
That's correct, James. Just hold on for the angles.
Our instinct was, and they're so often correct, that Karevi will be in major trouble here. He's looking up at the big screen. Ball goes from Anscombe to Jack Morgan. Karevi poleaxes him, but he actually hits shoulder to shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah, he snaps back. It's the height of it. Head on head, maybe. It's a very bad. He's very high in that tackle. He is playing with fire, but is that above the threshold?
So it's foul play because the tip. Is the ball carrier didn't have the hips? That's okay, I don't need you to. It is foul play because the ball carrier is upright into that tackle. It does reach the yellow card threshold, so it's off third
review. Decision taken quickly after 2 replays.
It was sloppy.
I think we agree with that decision, but it was no wrap on that.
No, it was sloppy, and you know, Jack Morgan, we were a bit static in that. We didn't have much flow onto that because the ball came from, I think it came from the prop and the line out. So the ball had to travel a long way to get to Jack Morgan, and he had plenty of time to line that tackle up and get his height better than he did. So it was sloppy defence, but it'll be interesting to see what's discussed now in this next 10 minutes and whether it gets turned into a red.
Yeah, it's pretty reckless, isn't it? But I think you're right, Guy. He may be lucky just because it was shoulder on shoulder, but you know, could have quite easily been a headshot.
Wales trail by 6. James Botham, Ellis Bevan, some loose passes to Jack Morgan in midfield, 35 metres from Australia's try line. Anscombe out to Winnett. Winnett, 9th start for him. James Botham is stopped in his tracks by 3 Australians. Australia down to 14. Jack Morgan brushes 1 Australian out of the way. I think it might be Nick Frost. Wales carve numbers out wide. Blair Murray thanks to a pass from Anscombe up to the 22. First 20, Wales were not anywhere near the Wallabies, and since then they've enjoyed the mammoth share of possession and have clawed their way back into this one to only trail by 6. Rowlands, back door, Ben Thomas, crossfield. Someone needs to straighten. Max Llewellyn does that. Spins out of a tackle, looks to pass, doesn't get there. He's isolated, and it's a penalty was coming. And it was Seru Uru who got his hands on the ball. And Gareth Thomas has taken a bump as well, and he's ringing in pain. And Ikitau too. Somebody, you can hear the bleating coming through on the ref mic there. There's one player, one of them in real pain here.
Has he been given a chance to turn there, Max Llewellyn? I'm not sure. He's was trying to sort of present that ball, but it looked like he was caught quite.
Yeah, it was good build-up play from Wales, and it just looked a little bit lethargic then from Max Llewellyn, looked a little bit indecisive, didn't he, whether to give the ball or take the Australian defence on. He eventually took them on, but it was a little bit static, and that allowed Australia to get in over the ball, win a crucial penalty.
What do you make of Gareth Anscombe, James? Hook, getting a lot of possession. He's shipping the ball a lot, isn't he? He's not challenging the line.
I was just going to say, he's distributing a heck of a lot. He's moving it to the wide channels, which is, obviously a tactic for Wales, but, we know Gareth Anscombe for his attacking threat as well. But, last week or this week, really, he hasn't really challenged the line himself personally.
No, he's a distributor today, more than anything.
It'd be interesting if he is carrying a sort of injury. He's not taking the kickoffs. He is taking the conversions, isn't he? But not taking the kickoffs. Is he carrying something? But they just need him in there for the experience. We're not sure.
Looks like James Slipper is on, so that means is Angus Bell off the field. Yeah, Slipper's on for Bell. Driving ball. Fessler has it. 1913. BBC Radio Wales. 5 Sports Extra. BBC Sounds. Nick White, the former Exeter man, with a high hanging up and under. Tom Rogers, he's having some game, catches it. Jack Morgan. Wales look to counter-attack on their own 22. Anscombe to Max Llewellyn, up to the 10-yard line. Llewellyn would have got the pass away to Blair Murray. It was on for Wales. As it is, he was isolated, and Australia get the penalty.
Well, there's such fine margins, Hookie, isn't it? It was so, you thought if they could release him there, just get it out the cat flap maybe, but just being clawed down without that, left him isolated, and all of a sudden you're staring at a penalty. This is what Wales didn't do the last 20 minutes now. They didn't give many penalties away. It was all Australia giving the pens away, but good defence. But just, how finely these games can be balanced.
Yeah, another fantastic take from Tom Rogers. A lot of pressure bearing down on him from Valentini. Like you say, good shift of the ball to Max Llewellyn. He did everything right. He engaged Tom Wright, created a 2v1, just needed to give that ball. And it was Tom Wright himself then who made the tackle. It was over the ball and won Australia another penalty. Attacking line out just outside the Wales 22 now for Australia.
Needed a Sonny Bill backdoor pass there, one-handed distribution. Not all players can do it. Max Llewellyn decided against it.
Now Australia, they're going to go route one. They're a man down in the back line. It's exactly what we're going to see from them for the next 10 minutes.
Driving mauls mid 6-7 metres. Fessler looking for a second try. Peels away into Jack Morgan, who soaks up the tackle. Now Australia 10 metres from Wales' try line. Andrew Kellaway pick and go like a hooker. Skelton, Uru with a carry. Australia keeping it tight, and Nick White has smashed that ruck time illegally. So there's a free play here for Australia. Here they go through Valentini. Some good defence going in from Wales. But they have an advantage. Will Skelton into Chunza.
James, number 9, is in a world of hurt of Aussie.
Pick and go again by Australia, again by Kellaway. Now he's isolated, so back will come to the penalty.
Yeah, they're managing in this yellow card period really well, Australia, at the moment, didn't they?
Oh, a little bit of anticipation, because the lights almost went off in the Principality Stadium. I think that was a mispressed button, wasn't it?
Hands off.
Should have pounded the meter.
Aussie playing very well. We've got the power play, we've got the numerical advantage, but Aussie keeping the ball tight. They're not going to go to the wings. They're keeping it in their forwards. They're driving line out. They're punching forward. They're wearing down this clock.
So we're going to have a look at the tackle on Nick White here.
You're just going to show me potential foul play by tackle on 9 goal. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So Karevi's already in the bin. White is cleared out by Ellis Bevan, and he's hit on the chin by Ellis Bevan. And at ruck time, Bevan flies in. White is very low. White is not happy with this. It's shoulder to chin, cheekbone, and Ellis Bevan is in trouble here. Agree, James?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a yellow card. Not sure that ball's even out.
He's wrapped. No, it's not out, is it? He's wrapped. He's very low. But the ball's not in his hands, so it's almost a clean out.
Just a penalty, okay. It's very, very low dangerous, obviously, Bicep. He's allowed to carry on. Penalty here.
He counted himself very lucky, Ellis Bevan there. I think he knows it.
Right. What do we know, eh?
Again, Aussie goal route one. They've had some change out of this area so far in this game. Scored a driving line out try, but not just that. They gain yards every time they've had a driving line out, and this is red zone stuff. Wales have to defend with everything they've got here.
Australia weathered the Welsh storm. Now they look to re-establish themselves as clear leaders in this game. Fessler has won. He wants a second try. Driving maul is within a metre. Fessler gets over. Precision work by the Wallabies. Their fourth try. And the gap is now significant. Wales 13. 14 men of Australia 24.
Yeah, that's a huge hinge in, they get a men, someone go out of the sin bin, potentially a red card. But Australia just kept it tight. They knew what they had to do. They kept the ball. They gained penalty upon penalty, kicked it into the corners, kept it there. There was no way they were going anywhere apart from within that 15-20 metre channel. And they've got change again. That's 2 tries from driving line outs. And Wales, they're using Wales' strength against them.
Yeah, that's really smart play, isn't it, from Australia? It's nothing flash. Just the nuts and bolts of their game. Gone back to type the driving maul, which is really strong for them. They've wound this yellow card down, but if it is still a yellow card, that is.
Alessio with a conversion. He's pulled it, but he's pulled it nicely, and that eventually crept the whole way around. TMO call. Do you hear that? It's been upgraded to a red. Karevi here. Here we go.
It's a 20-minute red card.
Just some feedback around the yellow card to 12. Okay, the yellow card to 12 will be upgraded to a red card due to it being high danger, direct contact to the head, and no mitigation. 20-minute red card.
Okay, if you're new to rugby, Karevi was given a yellow card, which has now been upgraded to a red card, but it's not a full red card, it's a 20-minute red card. So in another 30 minutes, Australia will be able to bring a sub back on, but Karevi will not be allowed to return to the field of play. So a 20-minute red means that the player does not return to action, but they are allowed to bring a sub on after the allotted 20. So it's Wales 13, Australia 26, and the Wallabies have to play with 14 players for another 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah, well, they've managed the first 8 minutes or so really well.
Yeah, I think I was suspicious to come back on in 12 minutes either with Sual Ali, but yeah, Wales, again, they've got the numerical advantage, but they're just being pinned in these driving lineouts and the penalties that they're giving away.
Another driving lineout. Fessler's on a hat-trick here. The hooker, and he's got his head tucked in to the driving maul. That's up to the 10-yard line. Tate McDermott, who's on for Nick White. Now Lesios to play scrum half with the absence of McDermott. It's at the bottom of the ruck. Will Skelton into Gareth Anscombe and Chunza. Anscombe appreciated the assistance by Chunza. Chunza's back up and puts in a tackle on Uru. Australia not overcomplicating things here. Why would they? Fessler with a carry. They only have 14 players. James Slipper with a carry. He's on for Angus Bell to win cap number 142. Australia not going anywhere here. Laulesio shaped to go for a drop goal, but went for a crossfield up and under. Kellaway chasing, great take by Andrew Kellaway on the 22, beat winner in the air. McWright fumbles but gets it a Fessler around the corner. Wallabies asking questions of Wales' defence. Uru, remember, it's 14 players for Australia. They go back to the blind side through McDermott. McWright again dummies, then goes into the tackle by Rowlands. McDermott, Valentini, his 50th test. Australia, this looks ominous if you're of a Welsh persuasion. McDermott to Valentini. Wales defenders looking tired, although Jack Morgan puts a big shift in to get the tackle. Skelton with a carry. 15 Australian phases. This is organised, disciplined and effective by the 14 Wallabies on the field of play. Uru's driven back, gets it away to Laulesio. Tom Wright, grab a kick. Ball pings off one player back to right, and it's a penalty against Wales.
They're building phases so well, Australia, aren't they?
Yeah, but within 20 metres, hooky. they got wing hanging on the left side, and everybody else is on the inside of that post. We're coming at you. That's what they're telling you. We're playing power play. Get the ball off us. So Wales are going to do something special to dislodge the ball and get the ball back in. Get some territory back. But Australia just playing power play. They're winding this clock down, just humping and grumping the forwards up there.
It's noticeable the Joe Schmidt effect, isn't it? The fact that they've simplified the game plan. Yes, they have strike runners, but more often than not, it's just simple pick up and carries, keep it tight around the fringes. Anyway, Wales 13, Australia 26, 51 at the Principality. To the tail goes Fessler, files Valentini. Fessler is on a hat-trick, and the driving maul is carrying him towards that hat-trick. He pauses, puts ball in one hand, encouraged by McDermott to peel away. Fessler's over the line. It's a hat-trick for the hooker, and Wales are falling apart against 14 Australians at the Principality Stadium, and now they trail by 13 points to 31. Oh goodness gracious me, to be a Welsh rugby supporter right now, to be Warren Gatland, because Wales are heading to an 11th rugby international defeat.
It's really smart play, Goffey, isn't it? They know they've got a back down. They've got 6 backs, but they've still got 8 forwards, and they're just sticking to their strengths. They drive in maul, they pick and go, and just wearing Wales down. Wales are conceding penalties. 31-13.
Yeah, Aussie's plan B, it's what they had to do, and they clicked into it straight away, and it's almost given them the advantage. It's almost given them the power play. Again, they're putting up so much pressure on Wales up front there that the penalties are being given. They're allowed to be kicked into the corners, and that's a hat-trick of driving line-out tries. That would be a forward coach's nightmare.
Just over a year ago, it was 40 points to 6. Do you remember that evening, James?
It's also different now, isn't it?
We were in stunned disbelief the way Garth Anscombe and his players dismantle Eddie Jones's Australia. Penalty to Wales, though.
Before the game we were saying about we were worried about maybe how light the small Welsh backs were, but it's the power game of Australia that's really paying dividends. As a forward pack, that is a real man test for you. You're not conceding those driving line-out tries, and Australia, say a hat-trick of tries, they've got that edge. The Wales forwards really need to sort of to shake it up. And get off the line. They defended superbly. They've been cutting Australia down and stopping it go forward in open play. But the meat and drink of that driving line out is actually killing us at the minute.
Points to be in goal. Wales 13, Australia 33. Ryan Elias is on, Nicky Smith is on, Kieran Azarati on. That tells you the front row's been changed. Scrappy line-up possession. Tidy by Jack Morgan, I think. Roger Williams is on as well to win his latest cap.
See Tom Rogers limping on the far side.
Tommy Reffels come on as well. Ben Thomas in Australia's 22. Roger Williams. Will Rowlands round the corner. Good carry by him. Wales to Anscombe. Anscombe goes himself and he's carried over the touchline, and the attack from Wales comes to an end. Who's Tommy Reffel on for? Alan Wainwright, perhaps?
Yeah, looks like both of them still on there. Jack Morgan still on there. So I think it's Wainwright gap.
Eddie James may well be coming on for Tom Rogers, perhaps. Who's hobbling? No. Yeah, Tom Rogers is off. So Max Llewellyn goes to the left wing. Murray goes to the right wing. Tom Rogers has been very good.
He's been superb. His aerial game has been absolutely fantastic today. He's been a big threat for Wales, and he's worked relentlessly. He's had a very, very good test match.
And 10 red.
Yeah. Gareth Anscombe replaced by Sam Costello. He has 25 minutes to rescue this game. Wales trail by 20 in the Principality Stadium.
Time is still off. You're making a sub. I need you to stay here. Okay? Sub's done. Okay, gold in. Gold in. In.
Referee telling Australian forwards to get into the line-out because it's defensive line-out. Nick Frost leaps and catches the ball way over his head. McWright peels up of the line-out and driving more. McDermott to clear. Australian possession in their own 22. They're about 10 metres from their own try line. They're up by 20. McDermott. Blair Murray takes it. Murray to Cam Winnett. And 10-yard line, 15 metres from the near touchline. He's smashed by Frost as he passes to Ben Thomas. Thomas goes back and Frost misses a tackle on him. Ben Thomas. Still going is Thomas. Thomas up to the 22. Seemed almost directionless, but Chunza with a carry. 33-13, Wales are down. Will Rowlands with a carry. Chunza again. Will step by him. Athletic lock back row replacement who came on early doors for Adam Beer. Eddie James. Oh, crisp pass by him to Cam Winnett. It's up to the 22. James has been rare glow of sunshine in Welsh URC rugby this season for the Scarlets. Azarati, man and ball, footwork by him to be the defender, like a matador. And he's up to the 22. You don't like that, James?
Yeah, not bad from the prop, is it?
Here's Costello. Murray off his wing. Murray, wild pass. What a pick up by James Botham, who finishes. Great try, but I think the pass was forward.
Might be a knock on.
Brilliant play by James Botham. How did he pick that ball up? Superb work that his grandfather would have been proud of. On the touchline, James Botham with a try, but even his muted reaction suggests to me that he knows that that pass was forward.
Yeah, the assistant referees come in, they definitely can have a look at it.
It looked like good play. It did look like good play and good build-up. It was just that last pass.
My instinct was that it was forward.
Yeah, I did look at. Here we go. Oh, I don't know, mind.
What about that by James Botham, running full speed? Yes, forward pass.
The second time I look in here.
So it is no try because of the forward pass. Okay? We didn't do that because the player tried to pull in. So forward here.
Just to explain, it was a terrible pass by Blair Murray. I mean, no blame on him, he just hit the ground immediately. And it's going on the touchline, and James Botham, at full speed, picks the ball up one-handed. It's brilliant play by him.
In the slip. It was Blair Murray's sort of body position. It was how he sort of stepped in. It was almost like trying to wrap himself around his body to get that pass backwards. He sort of cut his angle up. It was a good break. The half tackler just stuck him enough, I think, to not allow him to sort of open up to put that pass in. But enterprising play by Wales. They need to get back in this game.
Rhodri Williams is on. 10 years since he won his last cup against Scotland. Breaking Bunatava's record for the longest gap between caps for Wales. And Bunatava's did it between 1939 and 1949. So the longest gap between two Wales caps now belongs to Rhodri Williams.
That's great knowledge, Gareth.
It's not mine. None of it ever is. McDermott goes down the short side. Jorgensen knocks it on. And Australia do not need to be doing that when they're up by 20 points in the second half. They decided to counter-attack from their own 22. And James Slipper talks to various forwards and looks at McDermott and goes, "What are you doing, boys?"
Yeah, I think he got a bit excited there, didn't he? You know, there's 4 minutes left of Australia being down to 14 men. Just needed to clear their lines there, Australia. Just played into Wales' hands. That's a great opportunity now for Wales, just inside the Australian 22 on the right-hand side.
Here is Rodri Williams. I'm sure you'd have thought his chance to wear red was long gone. The Dragons, the scrum half, is on wearing 21 and he feeds the scrum on Australia's 22. Wales got to put the pressure on them. They do put pressure on him. The referee will give a penalty. Both teams playing 8. Penalty.
Yeah, you've got to take a bit of credit, give the Welsh pack rather a bit of credit. They've been squeezing this Australian pack in not just that scrum. There's been a few scrums before. They've been second shoving. They've been, you know, going through the sort of tight end side of Australia. So you know, I know they got fresh boys on, but they've had to come on, get into that game straight away, and earned a good penalty. Now we have to do to Australia what Australia have done to us 3 times so far this game.
Patrick Hero is off, so no more tries for Fessler. Paenga Musa is on at hooker. Langi Gleeson is on Rosera Uru. Attacking line at Wales, stolen incredibly well. Such an athletic take by Salakaya Lotto. One-handed, stretched up towards the Principality roof. Took it one-handed, stole line out. Wales lose possession.
That's a big steal, isn't it? You just feel Wales when they're in these areas now with 20 minutes to go. Just have to start taking these opportunities. There's another one.
Another line out stolen. Now Lestio clears. Max Llewellyn in midfield on his 10-yard line. Looks like he's going to kick, then changes his mind and looks to counter-attack. They're waiting for him though. There's about 5 Australians there. Almost spilt by Chinza. Ben Thomas, Eddie James over the halfway line to Cam Winner to Jack Morgan in the wide channels. Does enjoy being out there, mixing it with the backs. Anscombe, Chinza into Valentini. And they both collide, chest on chest, and Chinza's lifted up into the air. Looks very awkward, but we play on for the time being. Costello intercepted. Tom Wright, he's got 70 metres to go, but he already knew he was going to score. And Tom Wright scores a second. Australia maybe up to 40. And this is not good. But the TMO may well intervene.
Yeah, I think they may have. We'll have a look at that collision beforehand, Gar. In midfield, but yes, Costello, he's trying to take the ball to the line, he's trying to create something. Because that ball out the back, Tom Wright has read it really, really well. Yeah, and he's gone 70 metres, just cantering in for the referee.
Tom Wright just takes the ball, looks left, looks right, and he knows.
I don't have clear head contact on that one, Jimmy.
Okay, so are you happy with all the angles that you have, that there's no clear head contact on that?
I've got no clear head contact on those ones.
Yes, the Valentini Jackal and Chinza.
Try is good, isn't it?
Try is good.
Yeah,
we thought it looked odd, but it might not have been anything in it, so we're going to play on, and that's
I'll let you know.
Try. Let's hear the referee.
Try is good. The try is good because there's no clear evidence of head contact in that collision. No, the offside is fine, the space is fine. We've checked that collision off, and all the videos show no clear head contact.
So Wales 13, Australia 38 on the hour mark. Gents, take your headphones off, just have a listen to the Principality Stadium. conversion is good, and it's 40 points to 13. And we look at the Baratini hit, it's on the border. It's on the border. It's shoulder on chest.
Yeah, it's a great hit, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's close, but it's ended up a really good hit. And worryingly for Wales, that's 3 tries they've conceded now, with Australia down to 14 men.
Yeah, that's a telling stat. You know, you have a power
what's the
play.
noise like, James?
It's so silent. It's just so deflating. You know, I think Wales are on the attack, and you know the tries they concede, and you know turnover tries, just knocking the wind out of this Welsh sails, and it's not great, guys.
Another loose line out. 3 in a row. Kellaway, Australia toying with Wales. Nick Frost dives on the ball. Sorry, I cut across you there, Ian.
Yeah, 3 lineouts in a row. You know, we need to win ball there. We can't give any ball away, and that's just sort of slipped us away.
Now Ikitau looks to counter attack, rolls out of a tackle up to halfway line. You begin questioning Wales' spirit. I don't think there's any point. If you've lost 10 in a row, you're clearly going to be deflated. Chip over the top, Tom Wright gives chase, ball could go anywhere. It's into the hands of Jack Morgan in his own 10-yard line. Wales 13, Australia, who've had 14 players for 20 minutes, 40. 50-22 is on, and it was a great kick by Roger Williams.
And that's a great kick, but he got a young superstar, Suali'i, who's just come on.
Joseph Akuso Suali'i is on the field, having starred in Twickenham last weekend. 21-year-old rugby league, I wouldn't say convert, he was pinched from rugby league in a high money move. He's on to win his 2nd cap. Another line-out stolen. 4th. Gleeson looks to counter-attack, offloads it. Wallabies are toying with Wales now. McWright up to halfway. Little pop pass to Wright again. If this was a boxing bout, corner would suggest throwing a towel in now. James, Ian.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed with Australia, the way they come out in the second half. All the momentum was with Wales at the end of the first half, but they've just managed that red card from Kerevi and just completely dominated the last 25 minutes.
When Wales went to Australia this summer, the talk was of 2 teams who were desperately low in confidence and experience of winning. Australia got those 2 victories. They've got the odd win against Argentina, then beat England, and this has been dominant. Laulesio, tackled by Blair Murray.
Use it. Step. Well done.
I keep getting frustrated that I can hear other stations' commentators, and I wonder if the levels are wrong. It's not that, it's the fact that I'm not used to being in the Principality Stadium and not hearing any supporters say anything. It's so silent here. There's an acceptance of the result. Nicky Smith for the carry. If you're just joining us, Wales losing 40 points to 13 to the Wallabies. Jack Morgan, Laulesio, the rugby league hit on him, no arms in that tackle. Rodri Williams, Costello, Will Rowlands. It feels like an academy run out, James, in terms of atmosphere here.
Yeah, and it's just the Australian defence set up really quick on Wales, forcing Wales to kick. They conceded an infringement there. The Aussies have let Wales off the hook. But yeah, they just look like they haven't got out to second gear, the Aussies, now in the second half.
They've just gone back to such a basic game, haven't they? Because of this situation, it's sort of spurred them on. It's helped them, because rather than play any wide game where they were struggling for any momentum. All of a sudden, they just put it back through their pack in a 20-30 metre channel, and they've just created it up, work penalties, put them into the corner, and they've just caught Wales in an area where we've been off the game. That driving line of defence, they've caught us 3 times on it, and it's changed the whole scope of the game. They're playing, to lose a man and then then be as strong as they are, just because they've reverted to a plan B that's completely worked for them. It's, the Welsh boys they played pretty well, but that unit, that driving line-out defence is so crucial.
I mean, Swali has put in no arms tackle on Jack Morgan, but referee and TMO are happy with it. Wales attacking line-up. Messed the last 4 line-ups up. This time, Kinser's hit. It's rather ironic cheer in the Principality Stadium. 66 minutes. If you are Australian listening to BBC Radio Wales, you may wonder where the cheerleading is, because Australia have been brilliant. But again, this is not, James Hook, a good Welsh side.
No, and you just look around this Welsh team that's on the pitch now. Where is that cutting edge going to come to try and get us back into the game? Australia, they've got 2 or 3 world-class individuals that can cut Wales open at any point, and I'm looking at Wales and wondering where that game-breaking moment's going to come.
Australia compete at line-out time. Wales driving more, they stop. They're 5 metres out. They've only scored 1 try. Australia have scored 6, I should say. Wales 13, Australia 40. 14 minutes left to be played. Advantage being played for Wales. Ryan Elias with a carry. Tackled by 3 green and gold shirts. Roger Williams, Ben Thomas, Costello. Out to Max Llewellyn, one-on-one against Wright. He grabs him by the collar. Surely that was high. James Botham quietly impressed the blind side. Very industrious. Penalty. 13 Wales, 40 Australia. BBC Radio Wales, 5 Sports Extra, BBC Sounds.
Guys, you need to discipline, don't try cross. It's 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Okay, time on.
Tap and go by Ryan Elias. Held up a metre short. James Botham, Ben Thomas. Try Wales. Tip pass by Botham. Thomas cut a fine line. Took a shot to the neck. Still got over the try line. Wales get a second. And they are up to 18. But they will not be winning this one against Australia. They will be losing. And losing again.
Yeah, unless they get 3 tries in 10 minutes, Gar, which
it's not happening.
Doesn't look like it's happening.
Clip it up and edit it and put it back up to haunt me in for decades to come.
I saw one that to happen, you know that, didn't you?
Well, the last time you said the supporters in the first half,
I know.
Wales just flicked on and turned. But maybe the omen, Gav, maybe a little bit of doubt actually spurs Wales on. But
I keep thinking of telling supporters to go home halfway in Wales-Scotland.
Wales-Scotland. First game of the Six Nations last year, and they absolutely turned it on its head within a few points. I was hoping you'd do the same against Italy further on in the tournament, but that didn't work. But again, they've just got to keep it there. This next 5 minutes, Australia again, they've opened the second half 20-odd minutes as the better side. Can Wales respond with 10-12 minutes to go?
$11 minutes of this one left. Wales 20, Australia 40.
They don't want to slow this game down now, Wales. They want to play. They've got 10 minutes left. Kicking the ball back to the back 3 of Australia is probably not going to help, is it?
Competition taken by Andrew Kellaway, former Northampton man. Rolls out of 1 tackle, gets away with Alessio. Jorgensen, and it's Kitao. Kitao's got support inside. Little nudge through on the left boot. Going out on the full, and Wales will get a line out. We have 10 minutes left of this one. Wales 20, Australia 40. Less here than for the Australia game. 56,000. That's what share for the Fiji game. 56,000. Jack Morgan. 70 play. 20 points in this one in favour of the Wallabies. McDermott has possession.
Just look out on their feet now, Wales, and they
do. And there's a huge overlap out wide for Australia. Kellaway came on the short one, didn't need it, but he's dragged a few extra defenders in. Oh, beautiful pass to Alessio. Alessio crossfield kick. Suali, bounce goes anywhere. Cross comes Blair Murray, and Blair Murray saves the day for Wales.
Just Fold wasn't there then, was it? You know, they had so many players this near side, and the gap was all on the far side. They needed to shout that, to communicate that, and just get on your bike, just get around that corner, because they left Wales so exposed. They didn't have to go wide because there's so many gaps. They hit and sort of not an inside ball, they hit down that inside channel, and off they went. They really need to sort of keep putting their finger in the dike here.
Australia, loose line out. Knocked on, Jack Morgan. Costello just whacks it away, and back comes Andrew Kellaway. 9.5 minutes left. Jorgensen, man on ball. Eddie James chases him down. Interception is on Max Llewellyn, who knocks it on.
That would have been an absolute beauty, wouldn't it? That would have given some hope.
There's good kick pressure, wasn't it, for Max Llewellyn? A pass didn't need to be thrown from Jorgensen, I think it was. Yeah, that would have made things interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, can Wales do something in the scrum? They've had the edge in the scrum. They've done well up front here. Have they got enough snap left in their legs just to sort of power through before Australia can get the ball out of the back of here?
Matt Fessler has been given the Player of the Match award.
With 8 minutes to go as well.
Yeah,
can't have a hat-trick and not man of the match, can you?
Well, no, it's difficult not to.
Better than giving it to the 10s that just stand there and kick the goals all day.
You settle down, old Goffey.
Get it.
Who's Wales' top try scorer? Who's Wales' top try scorer 2024, gents? Pause on that. I'll come back to you in a second. Wales under pressure from Kellaway. Chips it over the top. Covered by Cam Winner. Dewi Lake and Rio Dyer have 3. The top try scorer has 4 for Wales.
It's not Dewi Lake, no?
Not Dewi Lake or Rio Dyer. They both have 3.
Wainwright?
Nope. A certain chap called Penalty Try.
Yeah. That don't count.
Anyway, 7 minutes left of this one. Wales 20, Australia 40. Little chip kick. Suali gathers it. He's over. Australia looking to seal the deal. The game is settled already, but just to hammer the final nail in the Welsh coffin. And Wales are looking defensively exhausted now. Valentini run up ahead of Steve Winnett, tries to get his hands on the ball. Gleeson within 6 metres. Bell is back on the field, so Slipper's clearly got an injury. 6 minutes left. Valentini comes again. He's been impressive tonight. Australia, the Wallabies have been impressive in Cardiff. Wales are going to be beaten. Suali, one of the new stars of rugby union. Laulesio Ikitau, he's got no one to pass to, but he's got to go himself. And he stands Cam Winner up, who hangs his head to the floor. Australia score another. Wales are beaten. Welsh rugby is being beaten and ground to the dust. It's going to be another defeat. 11 successive matches without a victory for Warren Gatland and his players. What happened next? What happens next? What happens next?
Yeah, as we said just now, Wales is completely out on their feet. There's gaps all over the pitch for the Australian attack to go through. I think the Australian bench as well have brought a lot of energy, haven't they? Yeah. Just Wales just cannot cope with them.
So he tied him in knots there, wouldn't he? One-on-one. You know, it's you like to see your players do. I mean, like Shane, does things like that. He just, last line of defence, 10 yards to go, and great individual play.
Conversion is good.
Off the upright.
The scoreline
to injury.
47 points to 20.
Yeah, still watch this doesn't get embarrassing now, Gar. You know,
the supporters are leaving. Rarely do you see that on a Sunday afternoon. Barely any trains to catch. Only 56,000 here in the Principality Stadium. And the Wallabies.
I think there's only 26,000 left, is it?
Well, the Wallabies are toying with Wales now. They're running it out to their own 22. Credit to Joe Schmidt. What a transformation in such little time, but this was not high quality opposition. Cam Winnett, Eddie James, he could still impress. Big strong man. Rode a big tackle for Penga Musa. 4 minutes left. If this was a junior game, the referee would blow up now. There'd be no point in continuing with this game. The lessons have been learnt. The result has been decided. Wales's fate is clear. They're losing again. Loose pass. Jack Morgan on the back foot, going backwards. Confidence shot. Pattern gone. And Wales with nothing else to do, despite being down by 27 points. Kick it into the air and it's taken by Wright. And Australia through McDermott are going to try and counter-attack. Nicky Smith knocks it on, and we'll have 3 minutes left to endure of this game in the Principality Stadium. Wales 20, Australia 47.
Yeah, there's a deflated feel about the stadium, about the players on the pitch. Even Australia, they're running everything, but it's sort of, it's a foregone conclusion now. But Wales, when they reflect on this, when they reflect on the tries that they gave away, there's intercepts that went for that caused the first try. You've got they were attacking, and the second runs 50 metres for the second try. 3 driving line-out tries. There's so many tries that were scored out here that could have easily been avoided. They could be, when your systems are tighter and your level is higher, they can be avoided. But you've got to take your hat off to Australia. The way they responded to their red card, the way they just changed their game and ground Wales down, got the tries where they needed, and then the game is a different game when you're so many points up. You can try these things, but Wales's power play got turned against them.
It's amazing how far Australia have come in a year, Goffey, isn't it?
Or how far we've gone backwards as well.
Yeah.
Wales looking for a consolation prize. Australian defensive line is aggressive. They look fitter, they look hungrier, they look successful. Wales look defeated. Max Llewellyn peels away and gets over the halfway line. Australia fly into ruck time. It's got 3 tries in the second half, went down to 14 players. Will Rowlands with the carry. Costello, Ben Thomas, Winnett, Blair Murray, Rodri Williams, Chris Chunza. This is it, the final minute. Crossfield kick. It's a good kick by Costello, and James Botham, who was hugging the touchline, just couldn't reach it, and the ball beats everybody. And it's over the far touchline, and we're into the last minutes.
Yeah, sort of sums up the game there for Wales. There's actually the right option there from Costello. Just both of them didn't have the legs to get there. There's acres of space there.
Today's player of the match is the Australian fullback, Tom Wright.
We thought it was Festo's player of the match, anyway. Incorrect. Tom Wright has been named as player of the match.
Another forward robbed again, Hookie. What more does he have to do?
Australia know that there's 10 seconds left. McDermott peels away. Got support left. Goes left. Tom Wright is through. 45 metres. Tom Wright scores. Let's listen to the Principality Stadium. Well, if anything, the loyal Welsh supporters give credit to the Wallabies. They deserve credit, but they've crossed the 50 points. Wales have been hammered by Australia here in Cardiff. It's another defeat, 11 on the bounce. Never come back, they say. Well, Warren Gatland did come back, and this is what's happened. For the first time ever in Welsh rugby history, the national team have lost 11 successive matches. Welsh rugby is at the bottom of a very, very deep, dark, hopeless pit. And it's only the Springboks in town next week. Conversion to rub salt into the wounds is missed. It's inconsequential. It's irrelevant. Wales have lost by 52 points to 20. There's the odd boo here, but most of the supporters have long gone. They've left because they knew what was coming. Another defeat for Wales. 11 of them on the bounce in succession. Gloom, gloom, gloom all around the Principality Stadium. This is where Welsh rugby is, and it's a very, very sad state of affairs. What does Warren Gatland do now? Does he accept responsibility? Because Wales have had the stuffing knocked out of them by the Wallabies. Wales 20, Australia 52.
Yeah, the disappointing thing as well is, you know, in the Dewey Lake interview beforehand, saying how they've lost games by a score, you know, just by close games, and this has ended up, and who would have guessed that it would have been a red card, you know, a very influential player for Australia getting yellow sent off, and all of a sudden, you know, the batting order collapsed from their red card, you know, and it started up front. They took it to the strength where they had, the numerical equivalent, and 3 driving line-out tries, and all of a sudden they've completely destroyed us, and it all fell apart underneath us. But that's the disappointing part, that we lost our competitiveness. That 20 minutes gone, we were out, and we came back and showed great heart, and then that second half was just dominated by an Australian team that went to plan B, reverted type, and we just collapsed underneath it. So that's the disappointing part. There were some really brave, bright performances by some players with Wales today. Jack Morgan couldn't have carried any more, and he was getting hit all over the place. He was getting slaps and smacks, and there were certain players that really sort of played well, but as a core, as a group, things aren't right, and our level isn't quite up to where it should be, and then the back order collapsed, and we faced a 50-odd point loss today, which is very disappointing.
Ian Gough, James Hook and Gareth Rousseau with us until 6:30 here on BBC Radio Wales and Sounds. Times like these, we need an emergency rugby phone-in. But actually, if you do want to get in touch with us on social media, we'd love to know what you feel right now. If you're listening, if you'd watched it on the TV, or if you were here and you've already left the stadium, because the stadium had emptied quite considerably long before the final whistle. And at BBC Radio Wales, that is the tag on social media to get in touch with us, as we see Wales stood in a kind of a rabble really over on the far side. It just sort of sums up the performance this afternoon overall, doesn't it? It was a mess in the end, even though there was hope at half-time when Wales had got back into this game. In the end, it was awful, and it is now official. The worst it's ever been in 143 years. 11 test defeats in a row. 11! The class of 2024 then going down in history as the one with the worst losing run of all time. Despondency, despair, downheartedness. And this from a head coach who won 3 Grand Slams, 4 Six Nations, and got to 2 World Cup semi-finals during his fabulous first stint in charge. It is a very sad pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Welsh Rugby for the 55,000 odd people who came here today. Australia going through the Welsh Guard of Honour. And I wonder, guys, whether we can call South Africa and cancel next Saturday's game here. We could do without that, couldn't we?
That's not going to be easy with a 6-day turnaround as well. And that's exactly what this Welsh squad don't need now. You know, and as you say, I've never seen the stadium empty with 10 minutes to go like it did today. You know, they were just lost of any idea in that second half. And Goffey touched on how well Australia played and how they managed that red card, which they did. You've got to give credit to that Australia team and Joe Schmidt for their tactics. But, you know, going in at half-time, you thought, here we go, 19-13. They've got themselves back into the game after a really poor start. And then the wheels came off. You know, the set piece didn't really function. 4 lineouts on the bounce. And just errors, interceptions, 3 tries.
3 tries,
Moles,
James,
3 tries from Tom Wright
against 14 men.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, and we saw parts, you know, similar last week against Fiji when they were down to 14 men. You know, we were conceding tries, so that's obviously something which needs looking at. But yeah, you just look at the difference in the two teams, the confidence at completely different ends of the spectrum. And yeah, like you say, South Africa next week, you know, apart from a miracle, you know, it's going to be 12 defeats on the bounce, you'd think.
You would expect so, and the first calendar year Wales have gone without a single win since 1937, Gareth.
Yeah, they only played 3 games that day, James. That year, Ian. What can you say? What can you say?
It's hard to find the words, isn't it?
Well, no, I can find the words as a reporter and broadcaster, and somebody who always tries to be as independent, as impartial as you can. But as a Welsh rugby supporter, if you come to this game today and see Wales lose to that Australian team by 50 points, it's quite sad, really sad, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah, it is sad. Yeah, it is. And again, turning points of the game, 3 driving line-out tries. The Welsh pack would be mortified by that. John Humphreys would be mortified by that. That's your man test. That's your, you know, the scrum was really good today, but to concede in that area, to be outgunned so heavily in that area, you know, to give him a hat trick of tries from that is a bit of an insult to the forwards coach and the forward unit. They'll be absolutely devastated by that. And it's got Australia. It gave them the edge in the game. They didn't go they didn't go more than 30 metres off the touchline. They just, you know, they had one player hugging the touchline and that was it. They were keeping the ball and they were just peppering us up front, and that is a man test really, and that's something South Africa, you know, are renowned for, are strong for. Australia are not strong for that by type, but South Africa to come here seeing that and thinking and rubbing their hands, it'll be a very, very tough week on a 6-day turnaround, you know, to try and stem the flow. Where South Africa going to come after watching that today?
And Warren Gatland has, by definition, got extremely high standards. He had a 60% win rate in his first spell in charge. It's now down to 27%. The record will stand by itself, stand on its own, and everything has to be contextualised, because some of those defeats were brave, some of them were tough, but the stats do not lie, and Wales have now lost 11 consecutive matches, and this one, the final reckoning, I think will be remembered for a very long time.
We will talk more about Warren Gatland in just a few moments. Let's get some reaction from the man of the match, and this says it all, doesn't it, that it goes to the Australian fullback Tom Wright. Outstanding for them today. Here is his reaction to that huge Australian win.
Yeah, that was an awesome 80-minute performance. Ebbs and flows there. We gave a lot of momentum to Wales at stages, made it really difficult for ourselves, but they're games you like to be a part of. A lot of ball in play. Wales are really up for the contest, made us really earn all those points.
Because winning last weekend at Twickenham was big, right? Backing it up here now this afternoon, though, sum up what that means to you as a group.
Yeah, putting back-to-back performances is huge for us. Something that we've probably struggled with a little bit in recent times, but yeah, really pleased nonetheless. Yeah, looking forward to getting out of Wales and preparing for our next test. 19-0
up after 20 or so minutes. You were absolutely purring. That was like the perfect start.
Yeah, it was close. Maybe not perfect, but we're definitely pleased with our start. But something we can work on is probably how we handled sort of minutes just after we got up 19-0. I dropped a kick-off and then let momentum back in from Wales. So, yeah, something that we've got to improve on, definitely.
I'm sure Joe will forgive you for dropping that kick-off after a man-of-the-match performance. Well, yeah, because Wales had the momentum at the start of that second 40, but even with a man down, you stretched the lead from a 6-point lead to a 27-point lead. How did you do that? What did you get right during that period?
We had to sort of collect ourselves, a little stoppage in play, and then we just had to sort of really work hard for each other, make sure that our discipline was improved on from when, obviously, what we did to ourselves going a man down. But yeah, we sort of just worked really hard and pleased with how we did that.
Scotland up next, then Ireland. You guys aiming for that Grand Slam tour? I think was it 1984? They were the last Wallabies team to do it.
Something like that, yeah. But to be fair, we just got through this week, so we'll enjoy each other's company in the change rooms. Hopefully have a few words with Wales and look forward to getting into Scotland.
Go and enjoy your champagne. Congratulations, Tom.
Just a big shout out to all the Australians that came out, supported us this evening, and all the support back home has been awesome. Thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah, there were loads of Australians here today, certainly obviously enjoying the tour, the autumn tour. They do go to Scotland next weekend, and then they've got Ireland the week after that. So who would bet against them completing an autumn Grand Slam? Fantastic victory from their perspective, but obviously social media not a great place for Welsh rugby at the moment. Reaction coming in from Welsh fans. This is the lowest Welsh rugby has been, says Mike. Back in the 90s when we were dire, we could at least point to the exodus to rugby league. We have no excuses these days. Gatland must go. We play such dull and predictable rugby. We're unable to play expansive rugby, and we can't offload. And Aled says there's zero urgency with Wales. Anticipate the pass, anticipate the turnover, anticipate the offload, anticipate your player winning the high ball. Basics boys get taught this in schoolboy rugby. And Manor Rugby says Wales are now a tier 2 nation. It's going to be scathing as we see shots of Warren Gatland. It's going to be scathing for him tonight. Rob Howley, part of his coaching staff down there as well. He looks glum-faced as well, he might. So we may as well then ask the question, guys, because plenty of people have said this week, former Wales internationals, that Gatland's time should now be up, or should be up if they lost to Australia, and almost taking it for granted they are going to lose to South Africa. So pure and simply, Gareth, we have to ask that question.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing first of all. We've seen pictures of Dewi Lake, Gareth Thomas doing post-match interviews. As of yet, I don't think Warren Gatland has stood up and spoken to anybody and fronted up to this one. You know, is it down to Dewi Lake to be standing up having just lost by 50 points to 20?
Is he not just waiting to go along to do those interviews?
Well, maybe, perhaps he is, but we've not heard from him. I've not seen him yet. We want to hear from him, because this is about Warren Gatland now, isn't it, James?
Let me ask you guys first of all then, whether you think, because as Gareth said earlier on, he did offer to resign, whether it was tongue-in-cheek or not, after the wooden spoon in the Six Nations, right, against Italy, when they lost to Italy. Do you think he should offer to resign now?
Well, you think if he offered to resign now, they'd take it, most definitely, you know. Well, I think so, you know. You just mentioned, you know, 6 wins out of 23 during this spell, 11 losses on the bounce, the worst ever run. So if a coach is ever going to go, it's now. You know, whether that will happen, I don't know. I'm not sure. But, you know, the boys just looking down on the field there now just look devoid of any confidence. That where do they go from here? You know, it's so difficult to say. So, yeah, you're right, Guy. You know, it'll be interesting to see what Gatland's comments are and what does happen going forward.
Ian Goff, have you changed your mind at all about Gatland? Or do you still think they need to stick with him?
George, it's a tough one. It is a tough one, and you'll have to wait till after next week to see what happens against South Africa, and it's whether they keep faith with him going into the Six Nations or they decided to cut their losses and try someone fresh. Now, the fresh coach is still going to be with the same group of players. My opinion, they're down that curve at the minute where, you know, they will be good in time, but this where we are. So they're going to have the same problem, but you know. Sometimes something has to be done, doesn't it? And whether it is blind faith maybe now and to stick with Gatland, again, nothing will be done this week, I don't think, but it'll be after that game against South Africa, then a big decision will be made. If it's not made there, it's reflected on the Six Nations. But you know, if you just stand still and do nothing, then you know, you're inviting the same thing to happen time and time again. So it's going to be interesting week, especially the press is going to be very harsh. Again, social media is going to be very harsh. So, you know, what will settle from this dust?
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard, isn't it, to think of another international sports team in football and rugby that would stick with the head coach who's just lost 11 test matches in a row. And you look not just to Gatland, Gareth, but also to the coaching staff and say, well, what are we getting for the money there? Mike Forshaw, the defence coach, Jonathan Humphreys, forwards coach, Alex King, attack coach, Howley we've mentioned, Neil Jenkins, who seems to have survived for quite a long time.
Gatland's appointments, though, aren't they? So the buck stops with him ultimately.
But he's changed it in the past. He's kicked people out, hasn't he, and changed the coaching team, hasn't he?
Yes, well, you know, the one person that needs to be heard of right now is Warren Gatland. He's come back, and the buck stops with him. And as we noted, I keep remembering the one thing that jumps out at me, and it's Jonathan Jiffy Davis, saying on Scrum 5, after Wales lost to Italy under Wayne Pivac, losing at home to Italy is a sackable offence. And Wayne Pivac then lost at home to Georgia, and everybody said, even Wayne Pivac, I think privately would concede, yes, when you've lost at home to Georgia and Italy in a calendar year, you have to accept some responsibility. And the question is, a proud rugby man like Warren Gatland, who understands the landscape better than anybody, I'm curious to see what he has to say about this, because surely this time he has to accept some sort of responsibility, does he?
Of course he does, and like you say, Guy, he will know that as well. It's got to be one of our heaviest defeats at home that we've had as well. I'm not sure the actual facts with that, but I think he knows full well he's under so much pressure, and like I say, where do they go from here? It's not like they can bring in 5-6 experienced players. A lot of their experienced players have come back for this campaign, and they seem to have gone backwards off the back of it.
Yeah, you're right. The captain of the ship, it goes with him. The plaudits go with you when things go well, when Grand Slams happen and things, and then when things are poor, when things are dire, then it stops with you. You choose your staff. You sort of run the environment, the culture within that. And it's whether he believes he can take it forward now, and that's the thing. It's his confidence. Again, some of the comments he's made, and I'm sure he's hurting, but again, the comments that were made earlier about being back on the beach, and he could be back living an easy life. He's done so well for Wales. He's earned lots of money over the time. But again, what's his driving motivation now? Does he want to be here? Does he want to be taking this flak? It'll be a personal reflection for him as well. So, there's going to be lots of hard conversations, I'm sure.
We've got to get the tone right, haven't we? I mean, I know there's probably a lot of angry listeners out there, a lot of angry people watching Wales today. Maybe not a time for jokes, but there's a lot of black humour out there, obviously, as well on social media. AP says, does this make Gatland Wales' greatest and worst ever coach, considering what he did in his first spell, which was brilliant, and now it's absolutely horrendous. 11 test defeats in a row. So, fair question. Let's hear, though, not from Gatland yet, and hopefully that will come soon, but the captain, Dewi Lake.
We know people at home are disappointed, and we feel the same. We don't come out to lose games. We're giving everything. We want to win as a group. So yeah, probably just disappointment.
Chat a little bit about the game then, because at half-time you deserve praise. You fought your way back in to that game admirably. What was the talk at the break?
I mean, yeah, we were probably the opposite to last week, really. We started really quickly last week and probably dropped off in that second 20 of the first half. The opposite this weekend, called ourselves back into the game. Talking points were just around staying in the fight. We knew once we got the ball we were dangerous. Probably didn't get much possession in that first 20, but when it did come our way, we were clinical with it.
And you had momentum at the start of the second half, only 6 points in it, and then suddenly at 53 minutes on the clock, you were 20 points down and then 27 points down. You just dominated physically during that final quarter.
It's tough, because it's probably the same thing, as Studio mentioned last week, just discipline in areas and accuracy in areas. Myself giving away a couple of penalties, gives them easy ball into the corner, 5 metres out, got a dangerous driving line out, and they've gone over for 2 tries in the first 20, and it's probably just key moments for us as well. We could have got to 27 points to 40, unlucky there, but yeah, they're a class outfit and we've got to be better.
Look, 11 straight defeats, Wales' worst run ever. You don't need me to tell you that. A record you desperately wanted to avoid. Is it just at the moment as a team you're not there, or are there other factors coming into play at the moment that's leading to defeat after defeat?
Look, you learn a lot from defeats. Of course, we don't want to be in the history books for all the wrong reasons. Unfortunately, we are at the moment. But we can turn this around. I'm fully confident in that. Fully confident in this group and group of players. And come this time next year, if we're on a winning run, then this won't really matter. It'll be a learning curve for us. So yeah, look, it's disappointing that unfortunately we're on this losing run, but this group's good enough to go places, and we will.
Well, it's a leap of faith, isn't it, to go with what he's saying there. If you could try to imagine 12 months down the line that Wales are going to be on some kind of winning run. We've seen it, you know, we saw it with Gatland turning things around instantly when he first came in. I think, you know, 2002-03, after that 10-match losing run, well, we had the 2005 Grand Slam. So things can turn around very quickly. It's just hard, Ian and James and Gareth, to really see Wales doing anything special in the Six Nations where we are at the moment.
So the next games coming up are South Africa next week, then France away, Italy away in the Six Nations. Italy, yeah, they've scraped past Georgia. They haven't been very impressive. If they lose those games, then we start counting 500 days since the win for Wales. The sad state of affairs really is that we're looking at the South Africa game next week and fully expecting Rassie Erasmus to play his second/third team. Now we know how strong the South African side is, but it's almost beyond comprehension to think how Wales could beat South Africa next weekend. That's where we are. You can't, isn't it? It's like you can't even figure out how it would happen.
Well, I played in my first cap in 1998. It was 96 points to 13. Mine and Stephen Jones's first cap. And that has been the low point of Welsh rugby. You know, that's my sort of infamous record. That's the thing that's hung around with me. And now this is there and thereabouts. You know, that was one performance. This is 11 straight defeats. So we came back from that. So Tasker Watkins, God bless him, stood up and made a speech that day about we're going to improve. We have to do something different. We have to change things around. We realise how low we've come and you know how far we've got to go. And it needs something. It needs some inspiration like that. Unfortunately, at this moment, he said we've got a group of players that are very young in this sort of international rugby career. They've got bags of potential and ability, but it's where they are at the minute, and we haven't got 4 or 5 players that we can just bring in, you know. And you know, like we brought in the likes of Garen Jenkins and David Young and you know and Sinkinson and boys like that at the time, and you know to freshen things up. I don't think we've got that at the minute. We haven't got people knocking on the door. We are a little bit light, if you want, you know, and I don't want to be disrespectful. You know, the boys are playing their hearts out, and it's just where we are on their development curve. And you know, it's going to be some tough times and some tough decisions that need to be made.
I think you're spot on, Goffey. You know, because you can tell the boys are putting 100% out there on the pitch, but it's just the quality, the gulf, you know, and the teams they've come up against. Even Fiji last week, you know, you ran Radra, Tuisova, these X-factor players, you know, they're just too good ultimately, you know. And you saw it with Tom Wright, Iketau, you know, Sui Ali, who come off the bench today. The teams, you know, the top teams have got these individuals who are game breakers, and in tight games, you know, they've got players who can turn games on their head. And at the moment, Wales, where they're young, inexperienced, we just haven't got it to compete at the moment.
Ollie Wallace, Rugby on X, saying that WRU rehiring Gatland has to be one of the worst rugby decisions of the last 20 years. His time as a pro coach should have ended the last time he left. His performance at the Chiefs in New Zealand, of course, said it all. And this is now embarrassing. The players are all Wales fans can hope on. CF10 Rugby Trust saying in most of the rugby world, unions realised that by compensating teams properly for player release, they were actually investing into the future. In Wales, for years, the WRU insisted, or instead treated it as a cost which had to be minimised. This is, in a nutshell, is why we are where we are. So you can talk about Warren Gatland and ask questions of him. You can also ask questions of the Welsh Rugby Union, and this would be, well, it would be an admission of failure, wouldn't it, for them if they were to have to get rid of Warren Gatland. Yes, they can say that it was the previous chief executive, wasn't it, who sent out the SOS 2 years ago to bring him back in. But for them, after so many negative headlines over the last 18 months, it's not a good look to have to sack your coach. And again, as we said earlier, can they afford to do it?
Yeah, and who do you get in as well, Hunty? You know, off the back of it, like who are the options at the moment? You know, do any spring to mind? You know, I can't think of too many world-class coaches out there that are available. You know, maybe Roland O'Gara perhaps. You know, but he's not been tested at international level.
Pat Lam, James, a lot of people talk about.
Pat Lam, yeah. You know, but you know, it's. I don't know. I really don't know where they go from here, you know, and I think they've got to have a contingency plan if they're going to sack Warren Gatland. Who are they going to bring in as well? And do they have that? I don't know.
Yeah, there has to be some strategy with it. It can't be a knee-jerk reaction. There has to be, you know, you have to do a detailed analysis of see what is out there, what will suit us. There's no point just bringing someone in, like a marquee signing if you want, if it doesn't suit what we are at the minute. And it's going to be hard to entice someone in as well. Because of the way the regions are performing maybe at the minute, and what sort of player base we've got, and what's happened within Welsh rugby and where we are. So it'll be a hard draw.
Let's hear from. This is who we want to hear from. Here he is, Warren Gatland.
Yeah, it hurts. I mean, I think we've got ourselves back into the game. Spoke about that, but to me, we're a man up to concede 3 tries, 21 points, and that's really disappointing. From our point of view, we had a chance to put them under pressure, and we probably just forced things, some turnovers, some penalties, and so that was disappointing. It kind of like we felt like we had a chance to get ourselves back into it, and kind of just shot ourselves in the foot.
I mean, you kind of answered there, I guess, but yeah, your reaction to the early setback was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
They fought hard, they were brave, and you had the momentum at the start of the second half.
Yeah, and we spoke about that at half time. You have some momentum, go out there, be accurate, we'll get some opportunities. And when we played with tempo and kept the ball, we looked good. But probably doesn't help with we had an early turnover, the ball bounced, and second row's gone from halfway, with an intercept, 2 more tries, and our more defence has been pretty good. I thought our scrum was good today, and then we've got 4 or 5 lineouts in a row we've lost. So those sort of things, that momentum doesn't really help.
You had a man advantage as well for a lot of that.
I know. That's the kind of look you look at that, and 21 points for the man advantage, and you go. And it's not very often that happens, where you just think, just keep your patience. You're going to get an opportunity. You're going to get the ball and make the most of that advantage. But we've probably forced things that we didn't quite need to, and again probably have given away some easy turnovers and penalties that have put us under some pressure as well.
Look, there have been many peaks and troughs. There are in coaching, and there's nothing much you haven't been through before, I think, Warren, to be fair.
Kevin at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's my next question. I mean, career-wise, is this the worst period you've experienced as a coach? And is it kind of becoming increasingly more difficult to take it on the chin?
Yeah, it's the most challenging. There's no doubt about that. So, like I said, what will be will be. Obviously, we'll have a chat with a few people about what happens from here, and
when you say that, do you mean powers that be or players, or like, what do you mean by
myself and my wife or whatever,
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is that I care passionately about Welsh rugby. We've made lots of sacrifices as a family and stuff, and there's a lot of negativity around the game, and I want to make sure that whatever decisions made, it's not about me, and it's not about that. What are the best decisions for the game in terms of going forward? And I've spoken about that a few times in board meetings about, if we're going to do things and new strategies and stuff, sometimes we've got to be bold and brave about making some decisions. So, and I've tried to be straight up and that I'm comfortable with about whatever decisions they make and whatever people. I want the best decision to be made about Welsh rugby. If that's about me going, and that's the best decision, then make the decision. We'll talk about that and we'll do that together. So.
There we go, Warren Gatland with Sarah Elgin. Let's see what decisions are made over the coming days and weeks then. And it's just about it from us. Thank you very much to Ian Goff, to James Hook, and to Gareth Rhys-Owen, who's going to now record a podcast. That should be fun, with James Hook and Eleanor Snowsill. And more reaction on the BBC Sport Wales website. Radio Wales Sport back on Tuesday for Wales's final Nations League football match at home to Iceland, on air from 7 o'clock. But that is it from us as Welsh rugby hits rock bottom. We'll see you for South Africa next Saturday. Goodness me. It's time now for Jacko's Sporting Almanac.